It's time for Legoland California Resort to celebrate its 20th birthday. But this party isn't just going to last one day. We're talking an entire summer of exciting birthday fun with dance parties, Riptide racers at the Legoland Water Park, and meet and greets with your favorite characters from the Lego Movie 2. Celebrate all summer long with over 60 rides and attractions, and stay overnight at the Legoland Castle Hotel. Book your family vacation today at Legoland.com. Get a coupon for a free child ticket with paid adult ticket at participating Subway restaurants while supplies last.
Good morning, sports fans, and welcome to the Defining Moment, brought to you by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. This is me, your boy Larry B, bringing it to you here on a beautiful Monday morning. It is Monday, June 10th, 2019, and we've got ourselves yet another action-packed, wall-to-wall episode of the Defining Moment right here for your listening pleasure. All right, let's do this, y'all. We have ourselves a 3-hour show to get through today. It's going to be a fun one. As I mentioned, 3 hours of wall-to-wall action-packed sports. Let's do this tonight. Guess what? Oh, yes. The Mighty Warriors are up against the wall. And will they be the team to have not won in 31 years, accomplish such a great feat, be in the finals every year since then, and then, of course, being a part of history after that streak? Will they have history made on them as the Raptors are in their first ever NBA Finals? Will they win it tonight and knock out the Warriors in 5 at home in Canada? Oh boy, let's see if they get that done. Also, talking some WNBA, that of course began a few weeks ago, so we're getting ready and set for the WNBA. Also, we're talking Stanley Cup Finals. That's going to be fun. Last night, talk about back against the wall, the Bruins, they had their backs against the wall. It could have been the story of tonight for the Raptors. We don't know that yet. It could be either or. It could be two similar stories or two opposite stories. But the Blues, after a very long time, over 40 years, I believe, or almost 40 years, somewhere right around there, they could have done it last night, defeating the Bruins, but the Bruins actually annihilated them 5-1. We have our Game 7 on Wednesday. Talking some MLB, Cubs sweep the Cardinals in the Series of the Week. The Freeway Series starts tonight, of course. Dodgers and Angels, and of course the Cubs and Dodgers are the Series of the week coming up this week. And Strozen for, Mr. Blake Henley has something to say about that. We'll be talking to him later on today. Also, National Pro Fast Pitch began last week. We'll be talking about that. So many records were broken in the NCAA Track and Field Championship. That's going to be fun to talk about later on. Also, Gerald McCoy to the Carolina Panthers. Golovkin wins by KO. Guess what? Who's next for him? We shall find out. Is the heavyweight class even worth watching, or did it just get a new spark last week? We're talking Mr. Gilbert Bautista later on today. Talking some UFC 238 as well. IndyCar in the DXC600. Newgard wins his third race this season. Hamilton wins by yet another interesting type of victory. This was a call. Bahrain was the first time he won by, unfortunately, Leclerc's car just gave out on him. This time there was a questionable call, but Canadian Grand Prix, Hamilton gets it done. NASCAR delayed till today, of course. Rain delayed. Ashley, and this is awesome, Ashley Bartley was her first ever French Open, first ever Grand Slam. Nadal wins his 12th MLR. Rugby coming your way. NWSL, and of course, that little tournament. Oh yeah, the FIFA Women's World Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, you are officially tuned in live to the Defining Moment right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome, sports fans. Well, it is great to be back here for another week. Excited as can be. This is actually our first week on YouTube, so, one more applause button. Can we get one more, please? Thank you. That is awesome, y'all. First week on YouTube. Yes, we've decided to go the YouTube route and, throw our shows on there as well. We are still available all over the place. iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, of course, right here where we record our shows at Spreaker.com. We are available on Spotify. All you Spotify listeners out there, we're doing our best to go ahead and, if I can get the dang time to finally do it, to go ahead and apply for Pandora. Could be on there soon. This show is on iHeartRadio, and the others are pending. Well, lots of others here at iSports Radio are pending for iHeartRadio at the moment. We are on Google Play. I think a lot of us are on Google Play. If not, there's some are pending as well. So we're all over the place, y'all. So why not YouTube becoming a, of course, I mean, YouTube's always been big, so why not? So make sure to go check us out. Y'all type in IE Sports Radio on. I'm over here fumbling my phone around, as you can tell. Over here, IE Sports Radio on YouTube. Check us out. Hit us up. Smash that subscribe button. I've always wanted to say that listening to so many YouTubers. But check us out, y'all. Show us some love, and it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna go ahead and extend ourselves a little bit. And we're looking forward to it, because now we can make our own little videos. You're going to see us all on there. Last night, Mr. Nico Green made a pretty cool video last night, and about the Raptors, of course. He is a Canadian, proud Canadian, and he made a quick little snippet video there, and also made a little video there for the Stanley Cup Finals. And as you can see, for some of you who've already some of you that have already subscribed, you can catch the Brothers Blue now on YouTube. You can catch them on there as well. That is Mr. John Felipe and his brother, the Brothers Blue. They talk lots of Panthers news, so check them out. They have the new Gerald McCoy video up, and they went ahead. They're officially part of the iSports Radio Network now, posting their videos on YouTube as well. They're part of another network as well that I forgot the name of, and I don't want to butcher them just yet. Well, I mean, not just yet, but I don't want to butcher the names, so I forgot. And, of course, they have their own YouTube channel, The Brothers Blue, so check them out on there. Check me out. Of course, check us all out on our brand new YouTube channel, so we're really excited about that, and yeah. So, with that said, y'all, before we start today's show, as I always say, always got to start things off by saying all thanks, of course, all glory to God, to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without Him, nothing is possible. That's right. And, of course, a big shout-out and thank you to all of our listeners out there. Without you guys, hey, we wouldn't even be a podcast network. So we appreciate all of you out there tuning in every week, showing us some love, and being a part of this. So thank you so very much for being a part of this. And, yeah, like I said, we couldn't appreciate you more. So, got a busy week coming up here on iSports Radio. As always, you can catch myself right now, of course. You can check out later on today, Mr. Phil Jones, Mr. Phil Robinson III. They'll be talking Raiders, of course. Lots of Raider news on The Unfiltered Truth. That'll be on today, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, of course, for you Raider fans out there. I know I'm definitely a diehard Raider fan. So, we have that, of course, coming up here tomorrow. I'm not quite sure. Tuesday kind of turned into like an off day. I don't know what happened, but we will have, of course, I mean, who knows if anything pops up. But Wednesday, of course, Mr. Matt White and Two Wheels Wednesday. There was nothing this past week for MotoGP or for World Superbike, but I'm not quite sure if there was anything for British Superbike. But just in case, I don't know. I mean, I think this race is coming up for this week, so catch Mr. Matt White talking MotoGP, World Superbike, and British Superbike. And then, of course, we have here coming up on Thursday, Miss Caitlin Seaman. Not What It Seems, a show much like this. However, it is very, different kind of twist on it. Really cool sports show. Miss Caitlin Seaman talks all sports. Lots of great stuff there. Mostly NFL. Lots of good hockey talk there. Lots of auto sports. So lots of great stuff there with Miss Caitlin Seaman. Then you can catch the double dose, of course, of Caitlin Seaman with Mr. Daryl Kinzig Jr., Miss Lolita Camello, Miss Caitlin Seaman, and Mr. Michael Ward. Talking everything auto sports on the Extra Mile on Thursday nights, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then, of course, catch Mr. Come back this week after a 3-week hiatus. Of course, it wasn't really a hiatus, but he was, in Hawaii and all over the place. But Mr. Gabriel Montoya will return this week at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Great stuff as always. Talking lots of soccer, of course, as I mentioned, the Women's World Cup. I mean, there's a game underway right now, as a matter of fact. I better turn my TV on and put it on mute so I can enjoy the game for sure, even during the show. But lots of great soccer coming up here. So Mr. Gabriel Montoya doing his thing. Then, of course, we have coming up later on that day, I believe it's 4 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Fast break. Catch the latest. This might be the last episode of the week, of the year, because if the Raptors win it tonight, well, Vegas might close it down. I don't know. That might be it. So that, will be the end of the show. Of course, I'll have a draft episode and everything coming up later on. But after that, that's it for Fast Break for the season. After that, we will have, and then Sunday, and that's, of course, on Friday. Saturday morning, catch the trio, of course, of wrestling fans. Mr. Martin, of course, the SoCal Saint, Miss Felicia Ruiz, and Mr. Matt Patricia on Ring Rambling Radio, 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Great stuff, as always. Awesome stuff there. So, catch them. Lots of wrestling. WWE, New World Japan Wrestling. I forgot how it goes, but I forgot that, so sorry for butchering that. But not the biggest wrestling fan, but yeah, of course, talking lots of wrestling. I know AEW is getting ready to launch. I know they're really excited for that. So anyway, so as you can see, lots of great stuff there. And of course, if hockey were to, it's going to end sometime this week. So it looks like we have the season 5 finale of the Neutral Zone with Mr. Cale Henderson and Mr. Nico Green coming up this week on Sunday. That'll be the finale because, of course, the Stanley Cup will come to a close this week. And just in time, just to talk about the other sport that can probably come to a close. It doesn't have to come to a close this week, but let's just be honest here, it might come to a close tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, here to talk about that with me right now, talking some basketball. Happy to have him here and a part of the show. He is, of course, proud member of the Defining Moment team, proud member of the 3 and Out team here on IE Sports Radio, and of course, proud member of the IE Sports Radio team. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming the Fat Mac himself, Faith and Trials Make a Christian. I love it. Loving hearts and helping hands make the world a better place. Hopefully I said that right. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up, man. Mr. Callum Reynolds, what's going on, Callum? How you doing this morning, man?
What's going on, man? What's going on, family? How y'all feeling on this Monday?
Hey, brother, I'm feeling real good, man. How you feeling today? How you feeling knowing that the series just might come to a close tonight in a shocking fashion?
Hey, man, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. A lot of people have said that it's a little salt in the water, but hey, you call it what you want, but it's working out in my favor. We'll talk about that in a minute.
All right, we sure will, man. So first things first, Colin, how's your weekend, man? How's everything going? How was your weekend, and you ready for the week?
Hey, man, the weekend was long, man. I worked from overtime, weekend was much longer than church on yesterday, but man, it was great. Got a little rest, not much as possible, but I woke up to some great news. Man, my Pelicans are doing some moves. We hired WNBA great Slim Cash to be in our front office on today. So, hey, man, I knew so much food. I tagged you in it. Basketball is going to be disappointing as football in the Bayou, and that's real scary for the market, man. If they do want a small market, for basketball, but I see up and coming on the horizon.
Hey, man, that's what I'm talking about. If the Bayou ain't no joke, we know for sure in football. But basketball gets crazy over there, man. I don't know. You guys already got LSU, a very established SEC college football team over there. So I'm just saying, man. My gosh, you guys build a basketball team, a championship basketball team. I don't know, man. I feel like it's not too long before we get a baseball team out there.
Hey, man, we got a AAA minor league team here in New Orleans. They're all right, but we're going to take it slow. We got the Saints on the market. We're about to bounce back. And now we're trying to put our stamp of approval on this thing. And so, yeah, great news for New Orleans, great news for the Bayou. And we just ready, man. We ready.
Hey, man, that's what I'm talking about. It's going to be awesome, man. Hopefully, you guys get that team. That'd be super cool. One day that'd be cool. But yeah, man, right now, hey, AAA sounds cool. But with that said, man, Colin, really, I did not think, I seriously thought, man, the Warriors, this dynasty team, they're probably going to get this thing done. Maybe they'd be the one winning in 5. The Raptors were scrappy. They're a good team. They might go to 6. That'd be awesome.
but I did not see this thing going to 7 games, and I did not see the Raptors leading this thing 3-1 with a chance to close it out tonight in Toronto. I mean, Kylan, break it down for us, man. Give us every game so far from the finals. What have you saw? Give us a scoop, man.
Well, I'm going to tell you, you can't take credit from the Raptors because the players are phenomenal basketball. But, the Warriors have been depleted. They played every game without Kevin Durant. They played finals MVP last year. They played one game without him and Klay Thompson, and they're depleted. So, but with that being said, it still is professional. It's still Steph Curry, still Draymond Green, it's still DeMarcus Cousins. So it's just a battle, which it was in Game 3. But I'm shocked, I mean, with team at 4-4, I'm shocked. And I got to do this reference, a depleted LeBron James in, that was 2015. Kyrie got hurt game 1, Kevin Love got hurt the prior series. And LeBron, even though it was like, 4-1, LeBron pushed them, to the very peak. And, you still have to get me, you still have to go down swinging. And I don't expect him to lay down tonight at all. I don't expect it to lay down and give Kevin Durant the club. I think the media is hyping up another 3-1. I don't think it's going to happen. But I think that Kawhi, you're going to see like super Kawhi tonight. You're going to see super Kawhi on defensive end. And I'm just excited, man. I think that tonight will prove that they had a weakness and it was exploited. Maybe the weakness is like game 100 and something, But it doesn't matter. Everybody at this point is tired. So, hey, man, I'm wrapped up for a good game tonight.
You and me both, man. I mean, as of right now, I mean, come on, man. I got in a little, it wasn't really a debate, but at work a couple weeks ago, I was, I was in the room, before we started up here, before we started the day, there was a couple, of course, a substitute teak, so I was over there in like the little sub room and everything. There's some teachers in there and everything, and I was talking, to the sub coordinator's husband, great guy, and of course he was saying that he's from the Bay, so he's got to cheer for the Warriors. And there's another teacher in there. I don't know who he was trying to say he was cheering for, but I said, something, I'm not going to say anything bad, because it's what you said a couple weeks ago, Kylan. Straight up, man. The Warriors did this thing right, man. Besides KD going out and getting him, I mean, seriously, they built this team from the farm. I mean, right? They built this team entirely them. It wasn't, they didn't go out and do all this craziness. They drafted, they did everything the way, not that there's a right way to do it, but, seriously, if you're going to look at the most, the hardest, toughest route, the road less taken, if you will, the road less traveled, the Warriors did this thing right, man. After 31 years, 1975 was their last one. 2016, they get this thing done, and they've been in the finals ever since. Kylan, you cannot not applaud this team for what they've done, correct?
Hey, no, you can't take anything from them, from the ownership. Besides the thing that happened with Kyle Lowry tonight, ownership has been great. Management has been great. Coaching staff, don't forget, his team is on the horizon under Mark Jackson leadership prior to Steve Kerr taking over. And it's just been growth. It's been growth, and you give credit where credit's due. But all good things must come to an end. Kawhi is the Giants player. He broke up Miami. He broke up. He's gonna break up. He broke the Spurs because he left. He won out, and now he's breaking up Golden State, man. And like I said previously, I think this is gonna open it up for a couple of Western teams. You already know who I follow. My team, home team Pelicans, and my favorite player is on the West Coast as well, LeBron James. So this team breaks up. It open the window up for the Pelicans to kind of swerve and swarm up, just swarm. The Pelicans just swarm up and maybe win something before the time, and then it also gives LeBron that window. So his window always closed, always shut. He can maybe squeeze on in there and get him one more.
Hey, man, I definitely see that. And yeah, man, what I ended up saying in that conversation was, you know what, nothing against the Warriors at all, but I'm cheering for the young man who went to high school right down the street from me, man. it's not literally down the street. It's maybe, not even 15 miles away, like somewhere right around there. But my gosh, it's not that far. Kawhi Leonard, King High School. I believe he graduated 2009. I graduated 2007. So, I mean, this guy, we're not too far apart in age. And it's just awesome to see somebody from here, man, from the Inland Empire, somebody that's from this area, get this, make such a splash. He was awesome at San Diego State, played for Coach Fisher. And now, man, he's just doing his thing. One of the best players in the NBA, in my opinion. I'm biased. What could I say? Because he's from this area. But you know what, man? It would be so awesome to see him. He's done it with the Spurs, of course. But you know what, man? Seriously, this guy, to see, I mean, it's not all him. It's really not. But I feel like with the Raptors, he really has gotten more of a chance to be, he was on a team with so many superstars with the Spurs. Now it's kind of like, he is, not that he wasn't a superstar before, because he was, but now it's kind of like, before he was like, up towards the front, now he is the front. I mean, taking nothing away from the other players, but seriously, man, Kawhi Leonard has basically, kind of, in a sense, kind of got his own team among a few others. So, I mean, like, do you agree with that statement, Colin?
Hey, I agree with you totally, Larry. The thing about it is, Kawhi is a humble leader, man. And I don't know what he does behind the scenes, which I really don't care because Kawhi is kept is good. He has his business. He takes his L's like a man. When he wins like a true champion. I mean, you should not gloat. You should be proud of his happy moment. And he's taking all his stride, not giving his character, represents his game. And I think everything that that goes forward with his career would be great. I think the next step of his career, he got championships. He made a statement the other day about legacy. He said his legacy will never be the same of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, even LeBron James. Because coming out of that same high school you talking about, going to San Diego State, he didn't have the media. He didn't have people watching his development through high school. He to college, he was on the radar until close to the draft time. And he feels that he just want to go out and win. And that's just been his character, that's been his motto, that's been his mentality. Yeah, the Popovich is still maybe a little thunder in him, more than what he had. Maybe so. We'll never know until he does his 30 for 30 or something like that. But Kawhi's been a true born leader, and his next steps will be not winning championships. He'll just be putting his stamp on the games and have kids and say one day, I want to be like Mike. I want to be like Kawhi. I mean, and I don't see nothing wrong with that. But tonight we're stamping, we're stamping a little much more. Well, tonight or whenever they close out will be, it'll be another stamp of approval for him, and we'll say that his game did not just translate across the border, but his game is going to be the same wherever he goes. We see a lot about free agency. These days, we've been talking about free agency we've been talking about 2019 free agency in 2017. I mean, sometimes free agency stuff can distract players, but Kawhi's been locked in from the beginning.
Absolutely, man. And I know time's running a little short. It's okay though. Next guest coming up in just a few minutes here. But Colin, man, let's just go ahead and say it as it will, man. Great words there from Mr. Kawhi Leonard. Absolutely, man. A superstar you can definitely look up to. Somebody who is really just come such a long way, man. I respect this guy so much. I mean, of course, yes, I'm biased because he's from my area. Don't know if he's actually like from here, but once again, man, he plays high school ball here, so it's really cool, to see that. But regardless, man, tonight we got a game to play, man. Game 5 in Toronto. You already know that stadium is going to be bumping. I mean, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be quite the atmosphere tonight, man. And honestly, it could be the end of it. But the Warriors, as you said, they're not going to lay down. Colin, here it comes, man. I mean, let's take a quick look here at let's see, and let's just take a quick look at the entire series real fast. Might as well, right? I mean, while we're doing this real quick. So starting starting on May 30th, okay. Raptors take game 1, 118-109. Everyone's like, okay, cool. Let's do this. Let's see, how everything goes. That was just one win. Sunday, Warriors. Okay, well, that's what we thought, right, Colin? We thought the Warriors, but they won a close one, but 109-104. Okay, they're probably going to roll. Last Wednesday comes up. What? We go to the Oracle, and the Raptors win this one, 123-109. Uh-oh. Of course, Durant being injured in some of these games. I'm forgetting which ones. Haven't even seen a game yet this year, man. I've been so busy with everything. But so that's what happens. Next up on Friday. Uh-oh. Okay, it got real serious, Column. 105-92, a little bit more of a deficit than the last victory. And Column, my gosh, man, I mean, they sweep. I mean, not sweep, but I mean, they win both games in the Oracle. Not an easy place to play. And if I'm not mistaken, actually Wednesday was actually pretty big too, and I'm not the best at math off the top of my head, but two pretty decent deficits in the Oracle, man. Like, if you look at this, They win by double digits in both games, okay, on Wednesday and on Friday last week in the Oracle, and here they are today at home. The Warriors did win game 2 in Toronto, but here they are tonight. Column, how realistic is it after the Raptors' performance? How realistic is it for them to close it out tonight? And if the Warriors do win one tonight, do you think the Raptors will win this thing in Game 6, or do you honestly feel like the Warriors could actually win this thing out and we can go to Game 7? What I'm trying to say, Colin, is Thursday would be Game 6 if necessary. I'm getting this all courtesy of the ESPN SportsCenter app. And Sunday would be Game 7. So what I'm really trying to tell you, Colin, what I'm really trying to say is next Monday is the show. What I'm trying to say is next Monday, we're going to be talking about a crazy Game 5, Game 6, and Game 7. Or we're going to be talking about, a Game 6 that the Raptors happen to win, a Game 7 where the Raptors will win this one at home in a close series where the Warriors just, I don't want to say woke up, but where the Warriors, got healthy and did whatever, not going to take anything from the Raptors, but the Warriors win this thing. I mean, the Raptors win this thing at home, the Warriors win this thing on the road. Or tonight, we'll be talking about this and say, hey, a week ago, Colin, we talked about this and the Raptors got it done. Colin, what do you feel is most realistic?
Realistically, I think it happened. I think it's Game 7, realistically, because it depends on what Kevin Durant we see tonight. We know what he can do on the offensive end. So with that counts, I want to see what he can do on the defensive end, because with him being out a while, he getting a reps with different game speed. I want to see what he can do on the defensive end and how defense how it breaks down with them with the weak side help, all that good stuff. But honestly, I think it's over tonight. I think it's over tonight or whatever. So I think that next Monday we'll be talking about free agency.
But yeah, well, you're absolutely right. No matter what, next Monday it's going to be over. But
I think it'll be more of next Monday. It'll be more of a recap of Game 5 and how we've been hearing certain rumors all week this week of how the Warriors, how they would they break down as a team or what's going to happen. I don't think it's going 7, but honestly.
You know what, man? I just for the sake of it, I'm not going to sit here and try and diss the Warriors. I just gave them so many props for being the team to do it and to build into the draft and everything. And maybe one player they picked up outside, of course, KD, not saying anything bad about that. I mean, hey, they went and picked him up. That's awesome, man. I mean, they've been the championship team. But I just feel that the momentum is with the Raptors right now. And my gosh, man, you had a story, okay? You have a story you have an NBA story right now of a lifetime, man. First time to ever get there, and this could be the first one ever, man. So, I mean, that they win it. So, with that said, Colin, that's that. Raptors in 5?
Yeah, I go Raptors in 5. It's close for another night. It's going to be close.
Alrighty. We're both going to agree. Raptors in 5, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the applause button going. With that said, Colin, thanks again for calling in today, man. I know you're a busy man. You're over there at work doing what you got to do, man. So, hey, brother, thanks again for being on today's show. And, hey, man, go ahead and let these listeners know where they can find you.
Hey, man, you can find me at FatMac_K. That's FATMAC_K. Faith trials, making Christian, helping hands, loving heart, make the world a better place.
Absolutely, brother. So, hey, man, thank you so very much for being on today's show. Appreciate you like crazy, man. Have you a wonderful week. Take care, man. God bless you and your wife and your family, man. Have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you next week, man.
Yes, sir, man. Be blessed. Talk to you later.
Take care, man. Alrighty, y'all. Get Mr. Colin Reynolds. Great guy, man, as always. Awesome dude. And that was a lot of fun talking with him, man. So big shout out to Mr. Colin Reynolds. And we're just going to go one to the other. We have the chance we have a chance. We have a chance for that Cinderella story, if you will, tonight. We have it in basketball. We just talked about it with the Raptors. Last night, we had that same exact story in hockey, but guess what? It was a little bit different. And there's a team on the East Coast that is really, really hungry for a Stanley Cup victory. How hungry do you ask? Well, they just forced Game 7 with their backs against the wall. They won 5-1 in the away territory in St. Louis. And the Boston Bruins have shifted the series back for Game 7 in the Stanley Cup. And to talk about that, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. He is co-host, and I'm not sure if he's co-founder, but more than likely, of course, him, Mr. Stephen Thompson, but co-host of the Boston Sports Blitz podcast. Check that out. Google Play, Spotify, they're on all over the place, y'all. iHeartRadio, as I mentioned, Google Play, iTunes, so many different places out there, Spotify, so many different platforms. Check them out, as always. Great stuff, and you won't be disappointed, y'all. I think they also have the BostonBlitz.com on Wix, but I'll check that out right now. Of course, Mr. Black will give me, Mr. Chris Black will give me the information. But ladies and gentlemen, of course, welcoming back to the show to talk about his Bruins pulling off quite the victory last night in dominating fashion to force Game 7. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming the one, the only, Mr. Chris Blackie. What's going on, Chris? Hey, whoopsies. I think I have you on, whoopsies. Let me go ahead and, well, that sounds like fun. I think I have you on, yes, I do. As you look at that, you were on the phone, not the speaker. There we go. All right, one more time. How's it going, Mr. Chris Blackie?
How's it going today?
Hey, real good, man. I'm sure it's going pretty well for you, man. Your team pulled off quite the feat yesterday.
They're a resilient group of guys, that's for sure.
I mean, really, Chris, a couple weeks ago, we sat here on the show, and you told me that you wouldn't be surprised. You wouldn't like it, but you wouldn't be surprised if it went to Game 7 or something like that because the fact that they're a tough team. You said that the Blues were, in fact, the Bruins of the West, and my gosh, has that proven so. You guys have your backs against the wall last night, and my gosh, the Bruins did not. I mean, it's like, I'm not going to say they weren't worried. I mean, not worried, but I'm not going to say that they weren't, that wasn't in the back of their minds that the series could end tonight. But my gosh, or, of course, speaking for yesterday, but my gosh, they just looked like it was another game. I mean, once again, nerves can be nerves, but taking a quick look here at the recap, back on Monday, May 27th, the Bruins would take game number 1 4-2. On Wednesday, May 29th, the Blues will take game 2. 3-2 in overtime. On to Saturday, June 1st, the Bruins will absolutely dominate, much like they did last night, will dominate game number 3 as the series would shift over to St. Louis. First 2 games were in Boston, 7-2, and they would go up 2-1 in the series. Monday, June 3rd, the series will shift over to, once again, the series was in St. Louis. They would take game number 4-2, time the series 2-2, and then on to June 5th. The Blues pulled this thing off in Boston, taking a 3-2 lead, and then it all came down to last night. The Bruins just did it again, annihilated the Blues as much as they did in game 2 or 3, whichever one that was, the 7-2 victory, and they get this thing done, and it's all tied up now, 3-3. It all comes down to Wednesday night. Mr. Chris, you are an absolute diehard of this team. You're a diehard Boston fan. The floor is yours, good sir. Take it over, man. Give us the entire series so far through your eyes.
Well, it started out kind of as expected, I think. The Bruins, I thought, were going to at least, win a couple, but they end up splitting. Then they go into St. Louis and just cream them, 7-2. The Blues come back, and we got a tied series again. Then Game 5 was just a disaster. Bennington stood on his head. I mean, we had the non-call on the chart that leads directly to the game-winning goal by Perron. Very frustrating as a fan, but what I liked about what I saw yesterday, that the Bruins seemed to put that behind them, and they kind of lit a fire under them. Going forward, I mean, Game 7 is going to be very difficult for the Blues, I think. I think overall the Bruins have the advantage just on leadership
alone, that they've been there. For the Blues, you have one player who's ever been in the Stanley Cup Finals. The Bruins have like 4 or 5. So, advantage Boston. It should be a good game, but I fully expect the Bruins to come on top now.
You know, I can agree with that because, my gosh, I feel like if the window was ever there, it was for the Blues. And the Blues have won some in Boston, but my gosh, man. Game 7, I mean, the Bruins have just not been denied. They have been. And you know something, I heard an interesting fact on yesterday's show on the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio with Mr. Kel Henderson and Mr. Nico Green. And my gosh, I didn't even know this. Nico came up with an interesting fact. Don't know if you knew this, Mr. Chris. I'm pretty sure you do, man. You're quite the sports gentleman. I know that for a fact. But I will tell you, I couldn't believe when back in January, the Blues were actually ranked like the worst teams or one of the worst teams in hockey, and here they are now in Game 7 with the Bruins. I mean, how incredible do you? I mean, you got to tip your hat to these guys, right?
It's a hell of a story for the Blues. There's no denying that. They were in dead last. They weren't just they were at the basement. And here they are. They're one win away from winning the ultimate prize in all of sports, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. It's a hell of a story for the Blues. There's no question about it. That can't be overlooked by any such imagination. I mean, kudos to them. I mean, they had 2 of the players fighting in a practice. Not now, but at the time. You know, they're around Berube, and here they are. I think what happened, in my estimation, I'm taking off the Bruins, glasses for a while. I think the Blues had the chance yesterday, and they blew it. And the same situation happened with Toronto. When you have the Bruins up against their backs against the wall, you got to take care of business. You can't give this team, an extra game. You're going to finish them because they're too resilient, and they've proven that all season.
Absolutely. And you know something? It's something that, yes, they had to close this thing out. And if they weren't going to close it out, then, yeah, they had to get it done. And I just feel like now the momentum is kind of riding high with these guys. I mean, they are such, the Bruins that is, they're such a tough team, man. And I'm seeing like last night, it looked like there was like no fear. It looked like just another game to these guys. I mean, last night, what do you feel that, I mean, of course the approach was to go out there and win the damn game, and they did, and to not act like if it was a big game, which they certainly did, but last night, because what do you feel? Like, do you feel like last night was where the Bruins pretty much rallied the troops and said, all right, check it out. This is what's going to go down tonight. We're going to win this game and take it back to Boston, and then we're going to win at home in front of our home fans in the Garden. I mean, do you feel that, like last night, because everything seemed to click for these guys, like everything did. What went so right? Was it just a bunch of things going right for the Bruins, or was the Bruins actually playing Bruins hockey like you're used to?
There's a combination of both. The Bruins have been a very solid road team in this playoffs, and interestingly enough, so haven't the Blues. The Blues have been relatively bad at home overall. There's so many aspects of the whole thing. I mean, they said in the press conference after the game that Patrice Bergeron kind of did a speech for the team, kind of got them rallied, and they described it as they're ready to run through a brick wall, and I think nothing was going to stop them yesterday. They take Backus out of the lineup as Owen Coleman, and automatically dividends pay off with this, an absolute snipe by him to make it 3-0. Huge play.
And just what a job. I mean, I agree. I think that, of course, has to be a little bit of both.
Taking it a little bit further, Tuukka Rask and the Bruins are now 5-0 when there's an elimination game. His goal save percentage is 9.73. That's almost unheard of.
And what a performance by this guy. You know, last night I really got my first chance to really see him perform. This guy is one heck of a player.
He takes a lot of crap. Throughout his career in Boston, he's had it rough. But I think, with Boston in general, once you win, you're set. He needs to get this monkey off of his back, and I think he's 60 minutes away from doing so. He's been arguably the best player on this entire playoffs for the Bruins, which is what you need. He's been better than I've ever seen him play, and I've been watching him since he was a rookie. He's just been outstanding. Easily the Conn Smythe winner if the Bruins win, no question.
Yeah, he is absolutely a X Factor. I mean, it's going to be... Now, speaking of X Factors, we're going to get into Wednesday night. I mean, this is it, man. It all comes down to this. One game, winner takes all. 6 games were not good enough. It's on to the last one. The winner of this will get their names engraved in sports immortality. So, and the best part is for you guys, if you guys win it, you guys can do it at home in front of your home fans, as I mentioned, in the Garden. So let's go ahead and get into that game, Mr. Chris. What do you think, man? X Factors. I want X Factors for this game. So what do you think? Who do you think would be the X Factors for this game? And what do you think about, like, give me an overall view of this game. Like, what do you personally, as such a diehard Bruins fan, expecting on Wednesday night?
I expect the Bruins to come out flying. I think the pressure very well might get to St. Louis. I don't know for a fact if it's going to. I think it's paramount for both teams to get the first goal. That's going to go a long way in deciding this game. X factor for me is, player-wise, is probably Charlie Coyle. He's had a hell of a run. He's a hometown boy. One win away from winning the cup. You got to like your chances there. I just don't know if the Blues are going to have enough to overcome the Bruins at home. They've done it twice this series, but that's a tall task, asking one team to win 3 times in an opposing building.
Absolutely. And it's gonna be quite the victory there.
Right. And from the Blues side, they really have to get the first goal because they are a much better team while they're defending rather than chasing. I think the Bruins can come back from a deficit. I'm not so sure the Blues are going to be able to do that with this team. The Bruins are very deep. 4 lines in the thing that should maybe scare the Blues a little bit. Those top 2 lines woke up yesterday. That's not good. Not if you're a Blues fan. You don't want... O'Reilly has been a huge problem for the Bruins. So if you're a Blues fan, you definitely want to have him continue being successful on the ice. And I think for the Blues, the biggest question mark going to be Bennington. He's been, in my estimation, aside from Game 5, he's been pretty poor overall.
Last night I watched him. And once again, I'm not the biggest hockey guy, so I was watching him last night. I just happened to see him during the national anthem. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, some other players. Oh, it must be the goalie. And it's crazy to think last night. I mean, yeah, he just had quite a rough game, but not taking anything away from the Bruins, man. You guys, just what a performance. I mean, it just felt like everything was going, almost everything for you guys were going in. How many shots did you guys have last night total? Do you know?
I think it was in the mid-20s.
Hey, man.
Somewhere along that. I don't get the thing in front of me, but overall it was a really strange night in Boston because, we had this going on. We had to win. And then news that Ortiz got shot out of the Dominican Republic. It was just a weird night. You're kind of on your highest highs because, you got, the Bruins extending with a chance to win at home. And on the flip side, you're just worrying about Ortiz because, he's like a god around there.
Absolutely. I mean, and by the way, yes, my thoughts and prayers with David Ortiz and his family, of course. I know Chris Blackie for sure. I mean, thinking about him, and I know lots of people's thoughts and prayers with Mr. David Ortiz. Apparently, sadly last night when I saw it on Twitter, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is terrible. But thank God the news was released this morning, or I believe late last night. I forgot when it was. I think it was early this morning. Well, at least earlier for me, that is, over here on the West Coast. It was pretty early. But the news that he's going to be okay. Thank God he's okay. But still, just what a terrible thing. And yeah, talk about a crazy night. Absolutely terrible. But yeah, my thoughts and prayers are with David Ortiz. And
it's like a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, it really is. So with that said, Chris, this has been quite the season for you guys. But you know what? And I talked about it last time. A funny thing that we brought up, of course, was the Celtics, being the team to not win this thing this year. You would win all four. I'm not trying to bring it up again, but I'm going to say, you would win all four from the last year overall from baseball season. Red Sox win it, Patriots win it, the Bruins win it, and the Celtics would have been the cherry on top, but is what it is. I mean, that was just a little funny thing to bring up last time. But regardless, man, you guys, the Bruins, I mean, you get a chance, you win 3 out of the 4 big, big sports there, and it's just, I mean, of course you got soccer as well, but I'm just saying, awesome job for the Bruins if they were to pull this thing off. It's not over yet. The Blues could definitely win it and make history.
No question. The Blues are definitely capable of winning. There's no question about that. I don't think it's a slam dunk that the Bruins win, but I'm pretty confident that's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bruins as well, just because they're at home, man. You guys just got so much there. The Bruins are a very tough team, and you've proven it. So I'm definitely taking the Bruins, not because I'm trying to, of course, just agree with my guests here, but of course, I got to say that the Bruins are just a very tough team, and they've proven it. So as I get more into hockey, I'm just learning more about these guys, and the Blues as well. But yeah, man, awesome stuff there, and I mean, really, just what a season it's been. One more game remains, and well, somebody's gonna be skating around with that cup coming up.
Oh, that place will be absolutely bananas if the Bruins win at home. It'll be crazy. The last time it's happened was against the Blues in '70.
And that is.
I mean, did you watch Game 5 by chance?
I did not get a chance to see Game 5.
Well, we have our captain, Zdeno Chara, who's playing with a broken jaw right now.
Oh, my gosh.
It's crazy. I have never in my life heard that Garden get as loud as it did during introductions for a player. The place just went crazy. And, if the Bruins pull it off, he's going to be the first one to pick up that cup. So that's just going to be special if it happens. I mean, his legacy's cemented now around there. I mean, it already was now, but now he's just looked at completely different.
Well,
it's crazy what hockey players go through for that cup.
Yeah, and it's amazing. I mean, honestly, let's talk about hockey real quick in general. I mean, this, of course, coming up to the end of the segment here, but Mr. Chris, I mean, my gosh, man. Hockey I have been into hockey for the last couple of years now, and it's so unpredictable. I mean, you don't know who's going to win. I mean, you have these incredible stories. Of course, last year, the Golden Knights, they could have been the first ever team to just pop up out of nowhere in NHL history. I mean, the only other team that's ever done that successfully, like ever, was the Houston Dynamo in the MLS in 2006 and 2007, I think, because they went back-to-back that year, and that was their first year and second year being a franchise. But still, in the NHL, they could have been the second team to ever done it, and they could have been the first ever team in hockey. They did not get it done. However, they came close. I mean, I know, as my old football coach used to always say in high school, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. But still, man, I mean, that is absolutely a just incredible story. The series that we get out of this, just everything. Hockey is just incredible, and I'm just so happy now to be a fan of it and to be really enjoying it. How much do you feel that hockey has grown? And go ahead and give it to us, Chris. What do you think, man? I mean, like, right now, hockey, just give it to us. Like, hockey in general, like, what have you got to say about this incredible sport?
I personally love it. It's one of my favorites, probably 1A, 1B with football. They got to get a lot of this situation with the refereeing under control. It's probably the least actual watched out of baseball and football and basketball, which is a shame. You see what these players go through just for a chance to win that trophy. You got people playing with a broken jaw, broken leg, broken fingers. You have to basically be in a stretcher not to go out there to play. I mean, if you're not playing, you're hurt, period. Like, really hurt. Anyone who, has an interest in watching hockey, watch. I mean, it's a great sport to get into. not as flashy as the other sports, but come playoffs, it is the best.
It really is. Like, I honestly can't say. And you can really pick. I mean, in 2015, it's the first time I've ever done it. I haven't done it again. But, I mean, it was just so obvious in the NFL that it was going to be the Broncos taking on the Seahawks. I remember that year, I even said it. I was like, watch, I'm going to call it in the offseason. Like, it's going to be Broncos and Seahawks. And my gosh, it happened, Chris. I mean, seriously, like, I'm not trying to say that everything is extremely predictable, but if you're going to have one unpredictable sport, it's going to be hockey.
Yeah, absolutely no question about it. Like everyone knows right now, like football season hasn't started right now. They had OTAs, whatever. That doesn't count. Don't you expect the Patriots to already be in the AFC Championship before the season already starts?
I mean, it's a given in my opinion. I feel
okay, exactly. Now you could take any team at all in hockey, and you could not say that definitively that they're going to be in the conference finals. You couldn't do it. There's a lot of parity in the NHL compared to the NBA, which that surprised me. That 3-1 with Toronto that's a wild story in my opinion. But you just see it. Like, the teams that are going to be there in football, basketball, you know who they are. Mm-hmm. Hockey, it's literally every year it's anyone's game.
It really is, and it's incredible. Like, I love it. I've come to love the sport. It is an incredible sport. It is an incredible sport, and I'm just really enjoying it, and it's just been awesome. So, with that said, Mr. Chris, I mean, I got pretty much flew by, but that will pretty much do it for the segment. But with that said, I always want to make sure we have time at the very end of the segment to go ahead and, let you go ahead and plug everything possible that you do. Of course, your Twitter handle, the Boston Sports Blitz, where you can find that as well. The website, which I totally forgot I think it's a Wix website, but go on ahead, man. Go ahead. The floor is yours. Let these diehard hockey fans and Bruins fans and Patriots fans know where they can find you.
All right. Give me a follow on Twitter at Chris_Blackie. Me and Steve have our group on Facebook. Diehard Boston Sports Fans. We also have a page. We have a website, www.diehardbostonsportsfans.com, where you can check out our podcast, our articles. Well, I do most of the writing, so if you see articles, it's either me or Thomas Murphy doing it. Steve's one of the editors. Steve is S. Thompson603 on Twitter. And give us a follow. Listen to our podcast, Boston Sports Blitz. You can find that anywhere. Just because we're Boston sports fans don't mean we're not capable of talking about other teams and other sports. Me and Steve are pretty open about stuff like that. So that's about it.
Awesome. And trust me, won't be disappointed. Great stuff as always. These guys push out some great content. If you're a Boston sports fan, this is like really like home central for you. Like, this is home plate. Like, this is the end zone. This is the goal. Like, whatever you want. I mean, they're covering plenty. I mean, you guys even talk about the Revs, don't you?
We haven't in a long time, but with the cup going on right now, we're kind of preoccupied at the moment. and no offense to the Revs, but they've always kind of been taking the backseat around there. Yeah. And I like soccer, but I haven't paid attention to the Revs in like 10 years. So, Steve, I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe we should get someone on from the Revs on our podcast.
I think that'd be great.
People would like that. It'd be a good change-up.
I think it would be. I mean, lots of great sports over there. Such an incredible city, and lots of great sports, and just awesome stuff, y'all. Boston is just as you mentioned. I don't know if I heard it right, but I don't know if his handle is "We Play for Titles" anymore. But Steve's, of course, either his title now or his handle now, or what used to be his handle at least, We Play for Titles, because that's exactly what Boston does, y'all. So, with that said, Chris, thanks again, man, for being on the show. Look forward to having you back one more time next week to talk about about these Bruins, and hey, regardless, win or lose, man, still a special season, but I really think you guys are going to get this thing done.
All right, thanks a lot, man. Have a good day.
Anytime, you too. Have a good one. Take care.
You too. Yeah. Bye.
Alrighty, y'all. That was Mr. Chris Blackie. Once again, give him an applause. Well, that was a really fun first 53 minutes, well, actually 54 minutes. So what we're going to do now is take ourselves a break. And when we get back, we'll be talking some baseball with Mr. H-Town Blake Henley. We'll be talking plenty, y'all. The series of the week last week, Cubs just sweeping the Cardinals. Freeway series tonight, only 2 games, but it should be some fun stuff. And the series of the week coming up this week. Well, we talked about the Cubs and we talked about the Dodgers. Well, guess what? They're facing off this weekend. The series of the week should be some fun stuff as always. With that said, this is me, your boy Larry B, bringing it to you here on a beautiful Monday morning. It is June 10th, 2019. Just struck 10 a.m. right now on the Pacific Coast. 1 p.m. on the East Coast. We're rocking and rolling, y'all. We got 2 more hours left of sports talk. Let's do it. Join in the chat room. Show us some love for listening to the podcast. Enjoy, y'all. We got plenty more coming up right after this. You're listening to The Defining Moment right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Drivers, start your engines. Auto racing takes many forms, from the close quarter contact of NASCAR
to the high-speed, high-risk atmosphere of IndyCar,
all the way to the pinnacle of technology with the Formula One World Championship.
No matter if you prefer the high banks of Daytona,
the concrete canyons of Long Beach,
or the flowing curves of the Nürburgring.
The international language of motorsports is simple. Go fast,
run hard,
and come home first.
So join us, myself, Darrell Kinsey Jr.,
Lolita Camello,
and Michael Ward,
on a world tour of all the best motorsports has to offer on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, only on your home for all that is sports, IE Sports Radio.
Hey, what's up, sports fans? You're looking for a different type of sports talk show, something you haven't heard before? You got to check out the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday on 2 Live Stews Radio, 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Sports talk at its finest. Always have great guests, playing some good hip-hop. You don't want to miss it. Make sure to tune in to the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Ladies and gentlemen, hear me and hear me good. If you like sports, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like comedy, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like a different opinion coming from a different angle, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. So join me Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your host, Jelani J.B. Bodie. And of course, my man Lopan on the WaitAMinuteShow.com. Ain't that right, Lopan?
Hey, what's up, BS3 sports fans? If you love listening to the BS3 Sports Show, check out the Weekend Wrap-Up every Monday at 12:15 Central Time, 1:15 Eastern, recapping the weekend in sports like you never heard it before. Comedy, interactive chat room, it's a must listen. Weekend Wrap-Up on Spreaker.com. Part of the X Squad. Check it out. You won't be disappointed.
Good day, folks. yours truly, Nico Green, here, reminding you, tune in to the Neutral Zone Hockey Talk Radio Show, Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern, proudly brought to you by IE Sports Radio. It's the Neutral Zone. All hockey, all the time. Take care. See you soon.
Hi everybody, it's Calvin here from USRN, here to give you an important message. Since 2017, we have done our absolute best to provide you with nothing but the highest quality of sports calls in the greatest of quantity possible. Thanks to you, our station has grown more than we ever thought. That's why, with your help, we would like to grow even further. Just think, twice the amount of your favorite calls, 24 hours of coverage, talk shows, play-by-play, game-by-game analysis, and so much more. That's right, USRN2 is officially in development, but we can't do it alone. We have set up a GoFundMe page that you can access from our homepage on the left of your screen. We also are planning special giveaways and prizes to our highest donors. Our goal here at USRN is to bring you the best calls possible at no cost to you. In order to continue to do that, we need your help now. Please check out our GoFundMe page, and if you would like to know how you can help, you can email usrnradio@gmail.com. Without your support, we couldn't do what we do.
Hello, soccer fans. Pierre Moss here with you. I am the host of the Soccer Scoreboard Show right here on IE Sports Radio each and every week. Games and the best action from around the world of soccer. Not only do we have live scores for you, but we also news and all the latest stories from the soccer world right here on the Soccer Scoreboard Show. Come join us each and every week right here on IE Sports Radio.
Hi, I'm Phil Robinson, running point, setting up Phil Jones for the finish. Join us every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, as we break down the week in basketball on the home for Real Talk Sports Radio, IESportsRadio.com.
What up, all you boxing fans? This is Vince Wright, the sports governor, and me and Gilbert Batista are the host of Ringside on IE Sports Radio. Make sure you keep it tuned to IE Sports Radio, Spreaker.com for the latest edition of Ringside. All the boxing news you need right here. Keep it tuned, Spreaker.com, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Were you listening to a great game on USRN, but then the Wi-Fi crashed in the final seconds? Or do you simply want to listen to the best calls we here at USRN have to offer? Well then, you need to go check out our Audio Boom page. It holds a collection of our best calls that you don't want to miss. How do I get there, you ask? You can download the Audio Boom app and look up Ultimate Sports Radio, or simply go to audiobook.com/Ultimate Sports Radio. And as always, thanks for listening and making USRN one of the most talked about sports networks on Mixler.com.
Wrestling fans in the podcast world, you are in the right place to listen to the right show, the premier show in the professional wrestling podcasting world. This is Ring Rambling Radio, and you're listening to one of the co-hosts. I am Martin Sandoval, a.k.a. the SoCal Saint, along with my two co-hosts, the lovely Felicia and my boy Matt. Yes, every Saturday or every other Saturday morning, you can listen to us, the premier wrestling team, giving you the premier wrestling news, rumors, updates, event discussions, everything that has to do with professional wrestling. You're in the right place. IE Sports Radio presents Ring Rambling Radio. Don't miss it, because it's just too sweet.
Absolutely, y'all. Wrestling fans, you don't want to miss it. Coming up this week, Saturday, 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and of course, 10 a.m. Central Time. Martin Sandoval and Mr. Matt Patriska, both over there in Texas. And, of course, Miss Felicia Ruiz, I don't know if she'll be joining in this week, of course, over here in Southern California. But, speaking of Texans, I mean, Martin, you know, we used to go to high school with me over here in Southern California in the Inland Empire, but moved out to Texas, doing real well. Congratulations. A couple weeks ago, him and his fiance, they did get married, so congratulations to them. I wish them a beautiful, happy, long lives together for all eternity. So, of course, and congrats to them. Very, very happy for them both. And yeah, they're out there doing their thing. Of course, big shout out to their son as well. But I gotta say, speaking of Texans, we happen to have one on the phone here, and happy to have him here, a part of the show today. We're gonna talk a little bit about the Diamond, and I'm really excited to get more into this. Last week I didn't get a whole bunch of baseball talk, but today we're going to get a whole bunch of it, and I'm really happy about it, because we're going to be talking all kinds of fun stuff. This past series of the week, the Cardinals, my gosh, just destroyed. I mean, swept. The Cubs came out to play, and they certainly got a nice victory. Oh, well, 3 nice victories to sweep the Cardinals in that tough NL Central. Or in the NL Central, don't know how tough it is, but in the NL Central, they got that done. Tonight, we have the Freeway Series getting underway. It's only 2 games, but should be pretty awesome. We have Angels, Dodgers getting down. I think it's going to be flip-flop as always tonight. They're at the Big A. Tomorrow, they're going to be at Dodger Stadium. And then, of course, we have another 2-game series coming up for this week. And this should be interesting because, of course, Mr. Blake, who is on the line right now, will be at the Wednesday night game, but this is going to be awesome. Milwaukee, one of the toughest teams in the MLB right now, hashtag this is my crew, taking on hashtag take it back. That's going to be quite the battle. Astros and Stros in 4? What? That's what I said in the introduction of the show today. We're going to find out why Blake says last year it was Stros in 5. Well, this year, Stros in 4. Why is Blake saying that? As a diehard Astros fan, we'll find that out as well. And we're talking a little about the series of the week coming up this week. Of course, the series of the week is, as I always say, the game that ends on Sunday Night Baseball, and or Sunday Night Baseball for that week. And that is, of course, the Cubs, which annihilated the Cardinals this past week. The Dodgers, hopefully they don't annihilate the Angels, but the Dodgers, of course, in the Freeway Series this week. Those two will be meeting up. And they will be going head-to-head in Los Angeles. Cubs taking on the Dodgers this coming week. 2 more top teams in MLB, at least from what I can remember. I haven't paid too much attention to baseball this season. But I'll tell you what, these 2 teams have certainly, the Cubs playing at such a high level. The Dodgers, they've been at a very high level for a couple of years now. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming in, he is one half of Bases loaded here at iSports Radio, which we are, I'm still trying to find that third person. I haven't done a very good job of it recently, but I'm telling you, we're going to get the host to actually host the show, and then Alex and Blake can jump on as they please. Of course, too busy guys. But, so just hang on again. Yet another hiatus for Bases Loaded, so we're trying our best. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming our baseball expert here. Awesome guy, man. The dude is the real deal. I don't think anybody loves baseball more than him. Him and Alex, I think, are like neck and neck. They're baseball guys, and what can you say? That's just the nature of IA Sports Radio. True diehards talking the sports we love. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Texas, during his lunch break, happy to have him here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming the one, the only, Mr. H-Town Blake. Blake Henley, what's going on, Blake? How you doing today, man?
What's up, guys? Hey, glad to be here to talk to baseball. Things are heating up. Trade deadline's coming up this year, so speak up on everybody, because this year there's a lot of new rules on what the trade deadline's going to be and how it's going to affect people and the demand that come with it. There's not an extended period anymore, so you're going to see a lot of things heat up in the next couple of weeks. And like Larry B said, the NL Central is really heating up, and I think the NL Central is going to be really, really involved in trades, because you have a three-legged race right in there right now with the Cards, the Brew Crew, and the Cubbies.
It is quite the battle at the moment. I got to take a look at this, but yeah, absolutely, so many great things going on in baseball right now, and it's just the sport you gotta love. College World Series actually getting ready to start up here pretty soon, so I'll be getting some of that coming up here in the next segment, in the next coming segments, of course. And the Women's College World Series, we'll be talking about that as well. We got a champion to crown, UCLA getting it done. So, and the NPF started last week, so we get into that as well coming up in the next segment. But right now, it's all MLB. The summer is right around the corner, and hey, summer and baseball, it just goes together, man. It's just delicious. It's like ketchup and hot dogs, man, or ketchup and burgers, or whatever you want to say. Like, it's just two things that go together, man. So the baseball is here. Baseball is here. It's been here in the spring, but just saying, it's been such a fun season so far from what I've seen. The Angels, my gosh, the other day, back to back jacks. It was awesome. Tommy LaStella, this guy, I don't even know where he came from. This guy is amazing. Knocking a home run out of the park. Then we have, right after that, Mike Trout just saying, hey, I can do that too. And then Shohei Ohtani going against his old high school teammate. I believe they both went to the same high school. Kikuchi, I believe, I don't want to butcher his name, but I think that's how you say it. Took him on and then hit a home run on him as well in the fourth inning. I even joked about it. That same night, Golovkin would knock out Rolls in the fourth round, and I sent out a tweet that was like, Golovkin knocked out Rolls got a fourth round knockout, and the Angels are trying to knock out the Mariners in the fourth inning or something like that. Like, they're trying to be like the Golovkin. They must be watching the fight, the Golovkin fight in the dugout or something. I forgot, but it was quite the spectacle. I think we would end up losing yesterday, but hey, I guess crazy night for the Angels on Saturday night. We've actually become pretty good, pretty decent. I'm really excited about Osmus. This guy is, great stuff. I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Mr. Mike Scioscia, for your 19 years there at the Big A, but hey, is what it is. Sometimes you need to change your scenery. Osmus is coming in. I really enjoy what the Angels are doing right now. Hopefully we can continue to get back on it. But anyway, we'll get into all that coming up soon. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and recap this past weekend. Blake, you ready, man? The Cardinals and Cubs. Look at this, man. Started last week. Cardinals just Cubs just take care of business. 3-1 on Friday night. Then on Friday, that is. On Saturday, the Cubs will do it again, as they will get another victory here, defeating the Cardinals 9-4. And then last night on Sunday Night Baseball, the Cubs do it once again 5-1. Same score as the Bruins defeating the Blues last night in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup. Real quick, man, what do you think about these Cubs, and what's attributing them to such a great series victory over their rivals, the Cardinals?
I think the Cardinals, I've said it for the past 2 years, they're a young team. They went out and got Goldie in the offseason, but they're pitching from starting pitching to relief to even a closer you beat up all year long. They overproduce right out of the gate. If you're a Cards fan, you kind of hope, you're still hanging around there. You're only 5.5 games back. for the division lead. You kind of hope that you're somehow involved to get one of those rumored names that are always thrown out there when trade deadlines come up when it's starting pitching and lead pitching, that you're going to have to give up some prospects or an actual day-to-day player that you have. Other than that, I mean, the Cubs are kind of in a groove right now. I'm really, really interested to see what's going to happen this weekend. We get a 4-game series between them and the Dodgers this week, and I am really excited to see how that series is going to play out, because you have pretty much the two big juggernauts going at it head-to-head, and, I mean, that's going to be almost a playoff atmosphere, pre-All-Star game, you know, so you don't see that a lot in MLB. You kind of see that after the All-Star break, but it's going to be fun to watch and see how these two juggernauts in the NL face off against one another.
Absolutely, and this is awesome. I mean, what a great series. I mean, the Cubs took care of business, and well, there you have it. I mean, the Cubs, as of right now, after that victory, the sweep that is, after those 3 victories, right now the NL Central looks a little something like this. The Cubs leading. Actually, look at this. Milwaukee, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Milwaukee and Chicago all tied at the top. Chicago at 37-27, Milwaukee at 38-28. So it looks like they're right there within 1. So awesome stuff. Then we have St. Louis, 5.5 games back, as you mentioned, at 31-32, and then Pittsburgh at 30-34, 7 games back, and then Cincinnati, currently in the basement. But as crazy as this division goes, I don't know. I'm not trying to say that they're going to spark this crazy comeback, but I'm just saying, I mean, Cincinnati, hey, they're 8 games back, but, you know, still in it. It's early on, but, you know, 29-35. But really the battle's at the top, I mean, right now, Chicago and Milwaukee. But as you mentioned, I mean, St. Louis can definitely get in there. But right now, yeah, Chicago and Milwaukee, I think we're going to be seeing them going back-to-back a lot this year in the NL Central. But, yeah, with that said, Mr. Blake, let's go ahead and talk some Stros baseball now to go back from this past week. And, of course, we're going to get to your Stros coming up this week versus Milwaukee. You're going to be in the house on Wednesday night. But this past week, the Stros would take on the Orioles on Friday night, 4-1 in 11 innings. You guys got that victory there. Then on to, mind you, it's the first time looking at these scores here, so just bear with me. Then we'll go on into Saturday night, where the Astros would then, let's see where you guys at, would drop one, 4-1 at home. And then on to Sunday night, where the Astros will get it done yesterday, 4-0, winning the series there, 2-1. Give us your thoughts on this past week series for the Stros.
Yeah, the past week was actually pretty crucial for the Astros. I mean, as you guys know, we're without Altuve, Springer, and Correa right now. So we're kind of looming with what the Yankees have dealt with the past whole season. You know, our 4-3 guys and super sluggers that are out of the lineup, that have been out of the lineup for the past month. So there hasn't been an excuse in the clubhouse or in the locker room. These guys are getting it done. Before coming home and playing the Orioles this weekend, we went on a 7-game road series on the West Coast through Oakland and Seattle, and we went 6-1 on the 7-game series there. We swept the A's, dropped one to the Mariners, came back home. You know, we were kind of lethargic going on the West Coast, especially coming back in that game on Friday night. Because Tuesday, they actually played like a 6-hour game in Seattle. The game went all the way to 14 innings. Astros pulled them out, but they kind of delayed them getting back home. I think the team got back at 2 o'clock in the morning and had to come back in and play on Friday night. But obviously, got the job done. The team right now is meshing really well. Pitching is great. Verlander and Cole are Canada. Verlander arguably having Cy Young numbers before the All-Star break and moving around. Garrett Cole leading the league in strikeouts, you know, and a lot of the minor league players that we've called up this year are different guys. Studs, the catcher that we brought up, the staff being hurt, you know, Miles Straw, probably one of the top guys in the MLB. It's just getting extra base hits like crazy, scoring at will, and then a really cool story in Mayfield coming up too and getting some playing time. But you know, dropping that game like you said the other day to the Orioles and losing 4-1 was actually really cool and crucial. You know, I think our GM, you know, and Hinch got together and said, you know, hey, we're still going to be without Altuve for the next couple of weeks. We need something to start, you know, to really probably one of the most talked about prospects in the minor league this year, Jordan Alvarez, who is just completely putting up cartoon numbers, or MLB show numbers in the minor league. Plus, 21 years old, he's batting .343 on the year, 23 home runs, 71 RBIs, and over 50 runs scored. He had an OPS of over 13.4 at one point this year, and one of the craziest stats, guy's been watched 30 times, and those 30 times he's been watched, he's been intentionally walked 11 times in the past 3 weeks in the minor league. So we're really excited to see him. Kid made his debut yesterday, and lo and behold, his first hit was a 407-foot homer out of the park in his MLB debut. So we're really excited here in Houston, not only to add a bat, such a young bat, but add another huge stick to this already potent lineup here in Houston.
That is absolutely incredible. I mean, yes, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Blake, bring that to my attention, man. Look at this guy's number. What an incredible job. Jordan Alvarez, what a, heck of a player. And he's coming on in to really just, in my opinion, just beef up this Astros lineup. And they are absolutely, just every bit of Astros baseball in the last couple of years has just been something to really watch and enjoy. And Blake, what a great time right now in Houston. You guys are just enjoying every bit. World Series victory. You guys have been in the ALDS or ALCS the last couple of years. You guys have been all over the playoffs. Certainly the class of the AL West, if you will. And to think just not even 10 years ago, you guys were in the NL, and it just seemed that the Astros were the bottom of the barrel. Everything was just south. I remember the Astros just being this, I hate to say it, but like the Browns, just, the Astros, it's going to be an easy series. Or, seriously, I can remember that, 10 years ago, and now the Astros are, it's like, nah, you don't play with the Astros. So, it's really become quite a tough. They've become such a tough baseball team, and really, it's just awesome to see this team be what they've become. Now, before we get to the Freeway Series, let's talk a little bit about the series coming up with you guys this week. It's a 2-game series, a lot like the Freeway Series. You guys are taking on that tough Milwaukee team that we just talked about momentarily in the NL Central. So, go ahead and give it to us, man. Preview this 2-game series for us, and how important. I know it's just 2 games out of a 162-game season. It is just 2 games. I don't know if you see these guys again, but how important is this series right now, especially with bringing up Jordan Alvarez and being able to see a very tough team right now? How do you feel like right now this team could actually even be a bigger boost for you guys moving forward all the way into the All-Star break?
So, I'm not going to downplay this because obviously it would be awesome for the Astros with the core that they have right now to go out there and not only take the series, but take it to a team that's putting up as big as numbers as Milwaukee. But in saying that, Milwaukee really needs these 2 games right here. Not only do they need it for the standings chasing the Cubs right now to try to gain a little bit of separation between them, but they need to be able to come in and beat a team like Houston on the road to gain some more confidence going into the last leg of June, essentially into the All-Star break. Tuesday night, you're going to get Peacock on the mound, but Wednesday night, this is going to be a great game because you're going to have both teams that pitchers think the mound. I'm pretty sure Woodruff is going to be pitching for Milwaukee, but then you're going to have Stephen Verlander on the mound Wednesday night. So you're going to have probably one of the best pitchers in the AL right now going against one of probably the best lineup pound for pound in the NL right now.
And this is going to be exciting. I feel like right now this is going to be quite the series. You're going to be in the house on Wednesday night. Any word on the lineup you're going to see the picture at least you're going to see for that night?
I don't know who's going to be in the lineup. There's been a lot of speculation. Bruno running around stuff like that. I don't really know if we're going to see some of the guys come off the injury that have hamstring like a George Springer or Alvarez, but the guys that are going to be in the lineup that have been lineup that day, we still have Brantley Bregman who are completely seeing the ball and tearing the ball up right now. And I after the podcast I listened to this morning with Finch and our GM, I don't see Jordan Alvarez not being in the lineup for the foreseeable future, whether he's in the field or DHing for us. So I'm really excited not only with this guy that he's doing the next couple of days, but obviously seeing him fly this person.
Well, looks like you guys are going to see Verlander versus Woodruff.
Yes. Not only that, but what's a really cool point that was pointed out earlier today to me was Alvarez Diaz, who's on the DL right now, but he's a slot guy for us who plays all around the field. Julie Gurriel and Yodi Alvarez are all even place. And somebody was making a point, when's the last time you've seen 3 international Cuban players on the same roster together? So I think that's really cool to have that continuity between players, to have that in the clubhouse too with everybody.
Absolutely. This is going to be quite the series. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm going to trying to watch in this season as well this week. Apparently Wednesday night, that's going to be on ESPN. So I'll be looking out for you, man. That'll be pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and get to the big question. I know we have about 10 minutes left here in the segment. We got to get to the Freeway Series and the Series of the Week, which that shouldn't be too long. But here we go, man. This is it. This is, I mean, when you said it earlier, it kind of got me off guard, but then, or you said it yesterday, but you know what? I mean, I guess it makes total sense. Here we go, y'all. The infamous Strohs in 5 from Mr. H-Town Blake has turned into Strohs in 4. Mr. Blake, the floor is yours, man. Why is it Strohs in 4 this year?
Well, obviously, if you don't know me, I mean, let's just get it clear. There's no lack of how much confidence I have in this team. You know, half of it is me being cocky, but half of me is being honestly serious about this. Because honestly, if there's no injuries in effect, or if you can sneak up on us like last year when we lost to the Red Sox, I mean, it's win or bust with this team this year. I really still have a strong inkling that something's going to happen at the trade deadline, and we're going to trade for a potentially better starter just to fill our third slot right here. But when you look at our lineup top to bottom, everybody gets healthy. I mean, we essentially have 8 all-stars. Again, 8 all-stars in our 1 through 9. I mean, when you really look at it, when Springer, Altuve, and Correa get back, you're going to have, this is going to be your lineup. Springer, Altuve, Bregman, Brantley, Correa, Alvarez at the shot ball, Yuli Gurriel, Reddick, and Chirinos. All of those guys have double-digit home runs right now. All of those guys are batting above 250 right now. That's insane. Okay? To have that type of offense, to have that type of pitching behind you right now, whether it be your starters or your relievers like Presley and Osuna that are carrying it up along with JV and Cole, I mean, the sky's the limit with this team. And honestly, this team is supposed to win and supposed to win fast. So anything besides not only the World Series, but winning the World Series this year is a complete failure in my eyes for this team. And that's not only coming as a fan, but that's coming as somebody that sees how great central behind this team is right now.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why Blake is saying Strohs in 4 this year is it's World Series or bust. He's throwing out there early. And yeah, with the high-powered lineup you guys have, with the great team you guys have, why not? Why shouldn't it be for Strohs in 4? Because, yes, you know what? Hey, if you're going to take him to sweep the World Series this year, then there you go. But you know what? This is a very tough team. And you guys definitely have the, the power to get through it. So, will we see it? We shall see. So, Mr. Blake, on to the Freeway Series, man. This is always a fun series, of course. The Battle of LA, if you will, or not really LA, but, Anaheim versus LA. But, since we want to be cute and throw Los Angeles in our name for the Angels. But, of course, me, hey, I can't help it. I'm a California guy, so I support Southern California, so yes, I do cheer for the Dodgers, I cheer for the Padres, and I cheer for the Angels. I gotta always, I guess I love my Southern California teams, especially, even when it's a team I don't really care for, I'm like, hey, put on for Southern California, that's just always been me. And of course, my girl, of course, is a Dodgers fan, and myself as well, being, kind of both. So we cheer for each other's teams, but this Freeway Series is just awesome. It's always a fun one. And here we go, coming up. We got today and tomorrow, 2-game series. As I mentioned earlier, flip-flop today at the Big A, tomorrow at Dodgers Stadium. We have today on the mound. We have, let's see here. Ryu will be taking on Canning. I don't even know who Canning is. My apologies there. And we will have... Actually, no, it'll not be a flip-flop. It'll be both at the Big A. I thought it was going to be a flip-flop, but it's not. And then we'll have... looks like Maeda taking on Benya. So once again, I don't know. I don't even know who our pitchers are for the Angels. But give us your thoughts, man. The Angels this year have been a little bit better than I expected, at least. And the Dodgers, well, they're still the dang Dodgers. So give us your thoughts on the Freeway Series for this week.
Well, we want to take a blast and just rewind to what I said at the beginning of the year. Not the A's, but the Angels' biggest problem is pitching. And it's not that they don't have pitching. It's the fact that the pitching always beat up and on the IL, and that's what we get right here. We've got minor league guys coming up that aren't ready to pitch in the big leagues yet, and that's what we're getting. Pena and Canning, obviously, that are pitching, their ERAs are through the roof, and it's not going to help this league against the team that's beating the ball and hitting the balls with the Dodgers. And let's face it, too, Ryu, this guy, your potential Cy Young candidate right here for the NL. I mean, he's got a 1.35 ERA right now. I don't think he's given up a walk in the past 4 games that he's pitched, which is just completely insane to me. It's going to be a tough first game for you guys on that. Monday night, it's going to be a pitching on side. So it's going to be cool to see that guy go against somebody like Sonny. And like you said, your hitting's coming around, but the Angels have to figure out something in pitching, and I'm not saying that they're going to do it at the All-Star break, but the off-season they're going to have to do something, because that's what's holding this team back, and as crucial as it is in the AL West to try to fix and spot at the Astros, you guys are going to have to bring out some strong arms in the off-season.
Absolutely, and I feel like right now, I mean, with Ohtani looking like he's just going to be a hitter for us, after Tommy John and everything, he's great player, but I mean, I think he's best right now with the bat, and we're definitely going to need some arms. So, do I see the Angels going very far? No. Blake, you were so gracious to give the Angels a wild card this year, which is awesome. But if we do, awesome. If we get past that, awesome. If we don't get there, well, I mean, hey, I know this is the reason because of pitching. But yeah, we definitely got to go after some big arms. And as for the Dodgers, I mean, what are you looking at right now, Blake? I mean, this Dodgers team, they're still mighty.
Yeah, they're still mighty. I mean, I see them trying to maybe kick the tires around them, trying to get somebody on the cheap or something like that to bring in for an arm. But, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, because we've seen it the past 3 years from them. I could definitely see somebody out of the NL Central come in and take them on toe-to-toe if it comes down to the national championship game. Of course they're great. Of course they're going to get there. Of course they got a huge lead in their division. But, I'm really, really getting in on the NL Central going forward through the All-Star break, because between the Cubs and the Brewers, I really think you're going to have to watch out for both of those teams come playoff time this year.
Absolutely. I mean, right now, the NL West, the Dodgers have an 11-game lead, 45-21. The closest team to them is Colorado at 33-31. They're 11 games back. Arizona's at 34-32 with 11 games back. San Diego at 33-33. They're 12 games back. And San Francisco is at 26-38 at 18 games back. And in the AL West, we have here Houston at 45-22. You guys are leading by 9.5 games. My gosh. First time seeing this, so that's crazy. Texas, actually, wow, looking a lot better than I thought they would. 34-30 at 9.5 games back. Oakland, about so where I thought they'd be. 33-33 at 11-5. Or sorry, 11.5 games back, that is. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim at 31-35, so 4 games back from 500 at 13.5 games back. And Seattle, a team who I really did not expect to see in the basement, at 28-41 with 18 games back. Real quick, how?
Right there. Let me stop you right there. Let me give you another little tidbit that you can jab Seattle in the mouth real quick. Seattle started the year off 13-2. 13-2 they started off the year. They're 28-41. Let that sink for a little bit.
Which, I mean, where was the collapse? Seriously, Blake, where? Where was it? 13-2? You've got to be kidding me.
Let's just say that they won April, and after April, the ship went down, okay?
I mean, this is sad. I mean, remember that year? It was a million years ago. I was still in high school, Blake. I think, well, we're about the same age, so we were still in high school. But my gosh, you remember that month of May where the Padres went undefeated?
Yeah.
And then that was it? No one ever heard of them again? Remember that?
That's just like talking about the Mariners. You want to bring up the 99 and 2000, man. There's no reason why that team shouldn't have won the World Series, and they didn't even get there. So, but, I mean, it must be a Seattle thing, you know?
I guess so. I don't know. I mean,
it's kind of like, hey, that's kind of like, you know, that's someone from a town where, like, you're on the 1 yard line, but you went inside a path to get a touchdown in the people. Well,
hey, I remember that. Oh my gosh, man! Way to just give it to Seattle, Blake. I mean, just man, but that's hilarious. But you're right. I mean, and real quick, man, Texas and Seattle. I thought they'd be flip flopped right now. What's going on in Texas to where they're doing actually pretty darn good?
You know, Texas is doing great, and that's coming from my Astros fan that just can't stand Rangers fans. They've completely shocked me this year. Pitching's doing great for him. You know, Minor is going to be one of the guys that you're going to be hearing his name on trade rumors and stuff like that coming on. He's actually pitching lights out right now. And, you know, it's a re-emergence, too, of Hunter Pence. You know, Hunter Pence got picked up on a minor league contract by the Rangers in the offseason. And he's come up and shown everybody in the MLB that he's not done. You know, he's been super crucial with them. Joey Gallo's unreal. You know, it's unfortunate to kind of see that he's banged up right now, and a lot of wingers are surfacing that, like, his injury is more succinct than what they initially thought. So, you know, the Rangers are kind of a big question mark right now. They're completely overproducing right now. They're a surprise team, but with what they're dealt and how they could have a fire sale, just get a little younger and get some prospects, or even get some crucial players to find long-term during Texas is all up in the air. I don't see them finishing in second place in this division, but what they have done has been actually impressive with the core they have. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, this is quite the. It's quite the team. They've really come together. And why not just talk about the A's real quick? I mean, hey, the only team we haven't talked about in the AL West. I mean, you know, they're right at 500. Kind of where I think we all thought they would be. I think maybe they'd be second place, actually, or ahead of, or somewhere near Seattle. Not necessarily where you guys are, but Seattle, Oakland. Why is Oakland looking a lot like what they should look like right now?
Oakland overproduced last year. I've said it all year long, you know, but, you know, with guys like Chris Davis, Matt Chapman, and Olsen, you know, and Bassani, those guys are on fire last. And it's not the fact that they're not too well this year, it's the fact that they're not seeing the ball as good as they were last year. Not only that, but, you know, I mean, Sedina's been out all year long for them, pitching prospect. I said it at the beginning of this year, they needed to get younger, you know, in the pitching, in the dynamics of their relief pitching. And it's an Oakland thing to do to have a team like that and the next year not do anything in the offseason. So, I mean, if you're asking me why Oakland's Oakland, I think the only people that can answer that are the people in the front office in Oakland.
That makes sense. Alrighty, well, last but not least, on to the series of the week for this week. Blake, you're more than welcome to pick out a series of the week as well. I know we used to do that, so you can pick one out. But, of course, as I mentioned, I'm always picking the one, the ESPN picks for me, or the Sunday Night Baseball picks for me, of course. This week, Cubs taking on the Dodgers. 3-game series, going to be, I think, quite a show. We mentioned the Cubs being just one of those teams. They are getting down this year. Such great baseball, and they are playing extremely well. It's actually a 4-game series, so they start on Thursday, coming up this week. Thursday, June 13th, so my gosh, I mean, I'm trying to look right now. There's a 5 games. Actually, no, it's not. I know sometimes I've seen that before. It's kind of rare, but...
Yeah, it's a 4-game series.
But yeah... 4-game series, Cubs taking on the Dodgers in Dodger Stadium. What can we expect, and who are you taking?
You know, this is going to be a great series, and I will go as far as to say this could potentially be your NLCS. It's going to be a really good treat. The game that you need to watch, obviously, is the first game. That Thursday night, you've got o'clock my time, I pretty much going to stay up and watch it for the majority of it. The Cubs are coming in hot, but I'm not going to take that lightly against the Dodgers. I could see this easily splitting right down the middle with just the pitching matchups that we have, but I'm going to go on with them. The Cubs are hot right now. They don't play well on the West Coast, and I'm going to say the Dodgers take this series 3-1.
But you know what? And you just said it earlier, Blake. You said you wouldn't be surprised if the Dodgers, if one of those NL Central teams take on the Dodgers toe-to-toe in the playoffs, and now you're going to give it to the Dodgers. Would you think that the Cubs would be the team to knock them out, or are you thinking more of the Brewers if they were to get there?
You know what? I'm going to ride with the Brew Crew. I picked them to win the division at the beginning of the year, and I like to see how hot teams get and how cool they are. And the best time to get hot is after the All-Star break. The Cubs have been hot. They obviously went out not central. You saw that he's ready after the All-Star break to come in and do their closer. But I don't know. I just see the way that Milwaukee has their lineup and the way that the pitching is, the way that the relief pitching is. I'm still going to go with my preseason pick with Milwaukee to come out of that division as the leader and as the winning that division. But, of course, the Cubs, you can flip-flop it either way. The win surprise means the Cubs win the division or the Brewers win the division. That first wild card is going to be either one of those teams. I really feel like it's either going to be the Brew Crew against the Dodgers or the Cubs versus the Dodgers in LCS this year. And if anything else happens besides that, it's going to be a big surprise to me and everybody else that's paying attention to MLB this year.
Well, there you have it, y'all. There it is. Dodgers and Cubs, or Dodgers and the Blue, and the Crew, of course, of Milwaukee. All right. Well, let's see. And right now we're looking. It looks pretty on track, but we're about a month away from the All-Star break. And we'll, of course, hopefully we get an exciting home run derby, as we always do, and an exciting All-Star game. Let's go AL, as always. Mr. Blake and myself, both AL fans, AL West fans, as a matter of fact. So, looking forward to it, but lots more to come. And plenty to get into, of course, this season. We are not even halfway there yet, as we mentioned, the All-Star break coming up. So we're really excited for that moving forward. And Blake, we're doing our best, like I said, to get bases loaded back and running again, man. I know you're itching to get on air and talk some more baseball. But, hey, hopefully we can give you your fix here on the Defining Moment. Look to have you back next week, brother. So with that said, man, go ahead and I know you got to get back to work soon and everything. I know you still got to get a chance to eat your lunch, man. So with that said, man, where can these diehard Astros and baseball fans find you on Twitter?
You can find me at H-Town_Blake.
Alrighty, and there it is, y'all. H-Town_Blake. Give him a follow, man. Always doing great stuff, and just, hey, man, the guy's a legend in the sport, in my opinion, man. Especially, as a fan, for dang sure, man. So, awesome, as always, to have you on air. And thanks again for joining us today, Mr. Blake. We'll talk to you next week, man. Take care. God bless you and your family. Have a wonderful week, man. We'll see you next week.
All right, guys. Y'all too.
All right, take care, man. Alrighty, y'all. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. H-Town Blake Henley in the house. Great having him on, as always. And the show is just rolling along today. So, my gosh, can't believe we're already an hour and 42 minutes in. We only have an hour and, my gosh, what is it? Hour and 17 minutes and 37 seconds right now. 35 seconds right now. 34 seconds right now. Anyway. So, there we have it. We talked some basketball this morning with Mr. Kylan Reynolds. Talked some hockey with Mr. Chris Blackie. And we just talked some baseball with Mr. H-Town Blake Henley. This has been quite the show. So, here's what we're going to do. Let's take ourselves a break. When we come back, we're going to jump on in to some more sports on the diamond. We'll be talking some National Pro Fast picks. Quick and dirty. We'll be talking a little bit about, let's see, what we got. Of course, we got to get into we got to crown the champs, of course, in the World Series, Women's World Series. We got to talk about the Men's College World Series as well, the Women's College World Series and the Men's College World Series. And, yeah, we'll continue on the diamond. Then we'll be talking some NCAA track and field, of course, championships were last year. A little bit of NFL news. McCoy going to the Panthers. I like this move. Apparently, the Brothers Blue do as well. Mr. John Felipe and his brother. Check out that video on our YouTube channel, of course, at IE Sports Radio on YouTube. Got some boxing to talk about, of course. Golovkin getting a pretty big victory interesting talk about the heavyweights, and got a little UFC to get into, some auto sports, of course, IndyCar, we got Formula 1 and NASCAR coming your way today, so not a whole bunch to say about it, but just, NASCAR coming your way today, and then, of course, some French Open, a little rugby, if you will, the MLR, second season. Glad I got into it this year. Gotta get more into it now. A little bit of NWSL, and, well, speaking of the NWSL, the FIFA Women's World Cup actually going on right now. We got a game going on at the moment, so we'll get into that. And, that'll be that for today's show. We've got plenty of that coming up here on today's show. So, stay tuned, y'all. We got plenty more coming your way. You're listening to The Defining Moment, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Two Wheels Wednesday is the place to come for all your motorcycle sports news every Wednesday on IE Sports Radio with myself, Matt White. All the latest news, rumours, race reviews and previews from World and British Superbikes and the big one, MotoGP. Two Wheels Wednesday, every Wednesday on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sport.
Hey USRN fans, do you have a product or company you're trying to promote? Look no further. USRN is teaming up with small local businesses trying to establish themselves via online promotion. Let us know if you're interested. Email us at usrnradio@gmail.com to learn more.
From the home plate to the nets, the end zone to the finish line, here nothing is off limits and no sport is safe. Not what it seems with your host Caitlin Seam, bringing you sports like you've never heard before. Catch me Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, right here on IE Sports Radio. The only question is, are you ready?
Want to follow the show and the guys outside our broadcast? Follow us on Twitter using the following handles. For Matthew Owens and for updates on our schedule, follow at 24MOwens. For Seth Eves, follow at SportsJunkie94. For Pierre Moss from the Wellington Sports Network, follow at Skywalker42811. And for myself, Calvin Vandergrift, follow at Cal Mr. MISTER 2000.
Lopan, they didn't even want you. Heck, they didn't even want me. But you know what? Right about now, they have no choice. Looking for the real sports talk? Talk that's for us, the people? Look no further. The Wait a Minute Show, a prime time sports comedy cocktail that tucks you in at night. Join me and Lopan Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 2livestewsradio.com and Saturday 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the waitaminuteshow.com. Sounds like a plan to me. Ain't that right, Lopan? Indeed.
My NBA college basketball fans out there, tired of hearing about just the dramatic stuff in the basketball world, tired of hearing about what such and such reward tonight and not about the game? Hey, leave all of that alone, because on Wednesday nights I got this show called Fast Break with Phil Jones here on the IE Sports Radio. And all we talk about is straight basketball, from where it comes down to the NBA, the NCAA, and even the WNBA. I don't discriminate. I give all my NBA, my basketball, whatever you want with sports, to the slam dunks, to the three-pointers, to the teardrops, to the game winners. I'm there. I'm speaking about it. I have a debate. I have my panel. I got a squad that rolls in. And we're going to be talking mad sports. We're going to be talking about the Lakers. We're going to be talking about even the Brooklyn Nets. We're going to be talking about who's the top team out there in the NBA. So, tired of all the drama. Tired of all the... What did he wear today? What kind of shoes he had? Forget all that. Just come over. Fast Break with Phil Jones here on IE Sports Radio every Wednesday night at 8 Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, y'all. So, yo, tune in. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Vince Wright, the sports governor from the great state of Minnesota, and I want to thank you for listening to Sports Done Right. Make sure you're checking us out on all of our platforms, whether it's Spreaker.com, XSquadAffiliates.com. We're also heard on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, so keep it tuned here. More great things coming from Sports Done Right.
Here comes the pitch. And it comes in wide.
On the BS3 Sports Show.
Welcome to the BS3 Sports Podcast. We hope your experience with us is amazing. Sports talk, comedy, social issues, and more. BS3 is the best source.
Can you dig it, son? Attention, all sports fans! If you're someone who wakes up each morning with lists of sporting events to go along with your to-do list for the day, then you just might be a diehard. The world of sports is as vast as the ocean is deep, including the major leagues, the minor leagues, the college, and everything in between. This is me, your boy Larry B of IE Sports Radio, welcoming you to join me every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on The Defining Moment, a show that focuses on what really matters in the sports world, sports themselves, and nothing outside of them. Once again, tune in for The Defining Moment with me, your boy Larry B, every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on IE Sports Radio, right here on Spreaker.com. We'll see you there.
That's right. I've got to change that drop. I really do. Not 4 p.m. anymore on Mondays. More like 9 a.m., 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time. But regardless, we're here at it. The Defining Moment right here. Gotta love it. And here to start off the week, kick off the week, if you will, for IE Sports Radio. Like I said, lots of great shows coming up this week. But as of right now, Well. We're going to stay on the diamond. Talk some, continue to stay on the diamond here. First things first, just got to give a huge shout out to the Lady Bruins of UCLA because this team got it done this past week. Congratulations to the 2019 NCAA Women's Softball Champions, the UCLA Bruins. Well. Last week, we talked about it, Championship Sunday last week. UCLA would win it. Of course, it was double elimination, so they had to defeat Washington. They did in 3 innings. It was a walk-off, I believe. UCLA wins it, defeating Washington. They would advance to the National Championship Series. Then Alabama would defeat Oklahoma once again, double elimination, so Oklahoma would get the redemption. In that redemption elimination game, or in that elimination game, they would take on Alabama once again, 7-3. Oklahoma would move on. Then they would take on Monday last week. They would take on Oklahoma in that game. We had a show that day with Mr. Matt White. Oklahoma, UCLA would absolutely obliterate Oklahoma, 16-3. Just annihilated them. The next day was a much better game, but my gosh, you can't script this. You can't. There's no way. You can't script this kind of stuff, okay? So we're going to take it back here to the NCAA softball Twitter account because, as I mentioned, you cannot script this stuff, okay? You can't. So, let's take it back here to this game. And I just want to go back to the Twitter account to walk you through everything because, my gosh, this game was ridiculous. So, in the, what is this? The top of the 4th, there was a hit into center, looks like into left field, and it would drive in a run. I don't know who hit it, so I'm sorry about that. But there we go. Okay, tie game now, top of the 4th, 3-3. After this, we would have, let's see here. After this, it would be 3-3, of course, and wouldn't you know it, a home run. Bruins will hit one out of the park, which I don't know this young lady, my bad. But home run out of the park. Incredible job by, I believe, let me see here. As a matter of fact, let me look. I think I have it. I think I have the thing here. Let me take a look here. Just take a look. And just what a job. Okay, so home run. Looks like Brianna Tatsuafua, I believe, is the one who knocked that one out of the park to get this thing going for the Bruins to go up by 1. So I know number 24 was the run brought in by Oklahoma. And once again, the one who hit it, I forgot her. She is number 22. So that's all I know for right now. I should have checked the names. But regardless, great job there. So after that home run, in the bottom of the 5th, UCLA will go up, okay, 4-3. Then we have just bedlam, okay? It is 4-3 going in to the top of the 7th. UCLA would be the home team, and it would all come down to the last out. It was a 2-1, okay? And wouldn't you know it, as it says here on the NCAA softball account, big play Shea Knighton knocks one over the wall, tying this game up. I mean, they were down to their last out, okay? This was the season right here. Shea Knighton, comes up big for her team. A couple years back, 2017, she would be the reason why they got it done. She would, I think, I forgot when it was. It was somewhere in the Women's College World Series, but she was a big part of it. And wouldn't you know it, she comes up big here. I don't know if she was a freshman or a sophomore then, but she's got to be a junior or a senior now. And Shea Knighton just getting this thing done. And it was what a job. Just what a job, and there it is. So, home run, there we go. And there it is. So, next up, we have here, we go in to the bottom of the 7th. And like I said, you can't script this stuff, okay? Bottom of the 7th. And wouldn't you know it, it would come down to the final out again. The hit would be right into center. Okay, it looked like it would be a little pop fly, but it wasn't. And then for the run, so let's see who this was here. That was, so it looks like number 27. Once again, I don't know names there. I should have looked at the names. But we'll run it. It was so close. She just avoided the tag a little bit late by the catcher. My beautiful, wonderful, amazing girlfriend Samantha pointed out the other day, like, if she would have just reached out with one hand instead of two to tag her, she was a little bit behind, though, and wouldn't you know it, number 27 comes in and slides on in, and there it is. Walk-off champions, ladies and gentlemen, what a job. Congratulations once again to the UCLA Bruins. Just what a season. They get it done. First time the Pac-12 has won a Women's College World Series National Championship since the last time they won it in 2011. Congratulations once again to those ladies. Alrighty, so next up here, we're going to continue on with some softball. This always is, the NPF, it just started up last week, so, nothing too crazy just yet. It's nothing that, we've just got into the season. So, I got a little bit of news here from the National Pro Fast Pitch. Like I said, just started up last year. Last year, the USSSA Pride got this thing done. Big victory over the Chicago Bandits to win the Coles Cup last year. This year, well, here we go. We started things off last week, and I just want to go ahead and get in the scores from this past week. Apparently, we have a new Canadian team, which is pretty cool. Canada is just popping up all over the place right now because, well, let's just say that I'm cheering for those Raptors. I really am. So let's see if Canada gets it done. But without a doubt, this week, let's take a look at the schedule here, and let's see if we got anything from this past week, and we don't. All right, there we go. Yeah, so, alrighty, so, looks like, well, it'd be nice if, there we go. So, alrighty, it'd be nice if we had some scores. So, from this past week, things got going on here. Looks like June, let's see, let's take a look here. So June 6th, it all got underway. And from this past week, Chicago Bandits and the Cleveland Comets, looks like the Bandits would defeat the Comets 2-0 in that opening day. Also, in that same exact day, the USSSA Pride would take on the Canadian Wild, where the Pride, or the Wild, would actually shut out the Pride 8-0. How you like that? So, pretty big victory there. And on to Friday, we have the Bandits taking on the Hornets again, and once again, so game 2 for both of these here. And the Bandits would then take out the Comets 8-0, going up 2-0 here. And the Pride would drop another one, 5-4. So, wow, look at that. This Canadian team's coming out of nowhere. I like it. Okay, I'm coming to shake things up. On the 8th, Chicago Bandits, so we have game 3 now. And here we go. Don't have the final score. Don't know if this one got played. Chicago versus Cleveland. But we do have the Pride winning game 3, 6-2. And that would be that. And then on yesterday's games, we don't have any stats here or anything reported on ProFastPitch.com. So I have no idea who won or lost the game. But looks like we have the Beijing Eagles and the Aussie Peppers. And Chicago Bandits and the Cleveland Hornets yet again. So that was yesterday. Don't know if that was a makeup game or if there was a 4-game series. I have no idea. And then, of course, yesterday we did have the Chicago Bandits and the Cleveland Comets again. So those are 2 games back-to-back. Once again, don't know the score. And the USSA Pride taking on the Canadian Wild. And there you go. And then today, so once again, I guess we'll have the scores soon or who knows when. But today we have the Beijing Eagles taking on the Aussie Peppers. And the USSSA Pride taking on the Canadian Wild again. So I don't know if these are makeup games. I have no idea, but that's just what I'm getting for the website right now. So congratulations to the teams who won this past week, and we're going to keep a good eye on the National Pro Fast Pitch this season. I'm going to try my best to. All the way into the Coles Cup. So, all right, next up here, let's take a look at NCAA College World Series. We have here the teams who have made it for this year. Here we go. This is exciting. I mean, my gosh, the regionals are all set. And, I mean, we have had ourselves some interesting stuff. So, actually, the College World Series is actually almost all set right now. So, let's see here. Let's take a quick look at everybody here for the tournament schedules. And, okay, so let's take a look at the Super Regionals. So here we go. So, Michigan taking on UCLA. Michigan actually will win this one. 3 out of 2 games, of course, it's a 3-game series for all of these. Michigan takes out UCLA. UCLA this year was on top for so many weeks, I even lost track because it was tough to keep up with everything, of course. A couple weeks they didn't have a show and everything. But they were, as far as I can remember, they're probably more than this, but there were 7 weeks that UCLA was the top. Softball was up the top for a while, too. Not as long as the guys were, but hey, the girls got it done and the guys were eliminated. So, in Game 3, so Michigan took Game 1, 3-2. UCLA took Game 2, 5-4. Michigan moves on with a 4-2 victory. There it goes. The Wolverines are on their way to the College World Series. Next up, and that was in the Los Angeles Super Regional. So, way to go on the road and get this thing done, Michigan. Wow. Then in Lubbock, I believe, or Lubbock, I don't know how to pronounce that, Lubbock, the home of Texas Tech in Texas. Duh. We have, let's see here, Texas Tech getting this thing done. It would go to Game 3. Texas Tech takes Game number 1 over Oklahoma State 8-6. Oklahoma State will take Game number 2, 6-5, and then Texas Tech 8-6 again. Talk about a whole bunch of scoring, and yeah, good stuff there. So let's go ahead and move on. We have here in the Fayetteville Regional, Arkansas taking on Mississippi. SEC battle here. Arkansas took game number 1, 11-2. Mississippi took game number 2, 13-5. And looks like today we have game number 3, Arkansas taking on Mississippi. Winner moves on. Next up, we have Baton Rouge. Florida State just sweeping LSU 6-0 in game, 6-4 in game 1, 5-4 in game 2, and there you have it. Florida State moving on here on the road too. Look at that, another big victory there. They got a nice victory there on the road, moving forward. So congratulations, Florida State, moving on. We have the Nashville Super Regional. Duke taking on Vandy. Oh, that's going to be fun right there. A little ACC-SEC battle. Duke taking on the Vandy boys. Duke just unloading in game number 1. 18-5. Look at that. Then Vanderbilt will answer back. The Vandy boys answer back 3-0. And Duke says, hey, you guys can put up a whole bunch of runs, so can we. May not be 18 of them, but they put up 13 over Duke. Vanderbilt will eliminate Duke. Look at that. In game number 3, 13-2, and Vanderbilt will advance. Next up, we have the Louisville Super Regional, where Louisville will win this one in 2 games. They will defeat East Carolina 14-1 in game 1 and then 12-0 in game 2. So Louisville will move on. Then we have the Starkville Super Regional, where Mississippi State defeats Stanford 6-2. And then they'll sweep them in game number 2, 8-1. Mississippi State will advance, and there you have it. Next up, we have Chapel Hill moving forward. We have the Chapel Hill Super Regional. Auburn taking on North Carolina. Auburn defeats North Carolina 11-7, and then North Carolina defeats in game 1, and then North Carolina defeats Auburn 2-0 in game number 2. Looks like game number 3 is coming up today. So who's going to move on? We shall find out there. Another SEC versus ACC battle there, and there we have it. So, that is just something. Those are all the teams moving forward. So, today is the day. We'll find out who's going to the College World Series today. Let's see who it is. I think that's all the teams. Yeah, so that's courtesy of NCAA.com. So, actually, article written by Anthony Chisano, I believe. Chiusano, that's Chiusano, courtesy of NCAA.com. That was written June 10th. So that's today in 2019. So congratulations to all the teams moving forward. And there we have it. And that is it for the Diamond for right now, y'all. So with that said, let's take a look here. Let's go ahead and move forward. And let's see here. Let's go ahead and move forward. And let's see. Okay. Sorry about that. So, we're going to go ahead and take a quick look here now at a little bit of auto sports. This past week, something interesting happened in Formula One. I didn't get to see the end of the race, but I didn't see the race. But the Canadian Grand Prix, of course, a place where Ferrari seems to, of course, flourish. They've had anything but a good season this year. I'm just happy that MotoGP, Ducati is actually the one doing it this year. Ferrari is just looking, yeah. But it is what it is. But this past week, we had quite the, I don't know, it was interesting. So, looking here at my notes, the chat group here, looks like, I don't know. Vettel was apparently leading the race. A Ferrari was out front. Yay, everything was great. And then, not quite sure what happened here, but Hamilton, because of a certain officiating call, Hamilton would actually win the race. Now, let's take a look and see if we have an explanation. I don't know what exactly, like I said, I have no idea what exactly happened, but unfortunately for Ferrari and for Sebastian Vettel, just was not to be for them. Hamilton gets it done, which, of course this year, why not? I feel like the trophy's already been handed. It's kind of like Rafael Nadal in the French Open, on the clay court. Like, it's kind of like what Josh Ritter said a long time ago here on the show. You might as well just give him the trophy. And it's kind of like right now with Mercedes. It's kind of just give them the trophy. Like, it's, one of those things. But, so yeah, questionable call. And, I don't know what the penalty is. I don't get it. I guess I'm sure I haven't known yet or dug yet as I should have. But unfortunately, there was a penalty. But in class, what class? Okay, because I'm reading here and it looks like we have ourselves a caller. Oh, well, hold that thought real quick, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Hall of Famer on the line. Please hold that thought in Formula One. But I think he's here to talk a little bit of Boston sports again. And we, of course, talked some Bruins earlier with Mr. Chris Blackie. But I'm happy to have this guy here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Glad to have him a part of this. It's always, man, always a pleasure having him stop by. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming the one, the only, Mr. Pete Garofalo. What's going on, Pete? How you doing, man?
Hey, Larry. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great, but how you doing, man? How's everything going?
Not bad, not bad.
Well, that is...
walking outside, just enjoying the day. It's a little overcast here, but it's a little humid, but it's fine.
Hey, man, definitely.
I'm doing all right.
Definitely. As a matter of fact, I think... I just looked at my phone right now. Pete, I think you called a group, buddy. I think you actually called a group from one of our old chats or something. Because I do see that, John, you're in this group, man.
I was wondering what was happening.
Wow, I think we just had Mr. Jeff Christensen also in the group. Look at that. Well, I guess we can just all pop in real quick. Interesting stuff here, but I love it. Wow, the surprises continue on today's show. I'm loving it. We don't have a whole bunch of time, but that's awesome. Well, you know what, John? While you're here for a couple of seconds, why don't you tell everybody about the Brothers Blue being on the IE Sports Radio YouTube? Uh-oh. Okay, well, someone's got some major wind going on there.
Yeah, that's me. I'm trying to get him to turn it down, but he's a little slow in getting the message.
It's cool.
It's quite all right.
No, but
The Brothers Blue is now a part of the IE Sports Radio YouTube channel. Everyone, go out and go to youtube.com/IE Sports Radio. Listen to us on IE Sports Radio, and the Brothers Blue is now an affiliate with the channel, and I'm excited to be there with you, Larry. It's going to be an exciting time. Now I'm with the Roaring Riot, with the Brothers Blue, and with IE Sports Radio. So hopefully, everybody will be able to see these videos, get inspired, maybe make some videos on their own, and it'll just be a good time. It's all, fans making fan kind of stuff.
I'm loving it, man. I'm absolutely loving it. Great stuff, and I'm looking forward to that. Really, I mean, awesome stuff there. Really, it's great to see, great to see you guys part of the network, man. Welcome, your YouTube channel, welcome aboard. And you know what, man? Before we go ahead and jump on to Mr. Pete here, I know you're probably going to bounce anyway, but while we have you here real quick, John, give us the 1 to 2 minute version of the video of why you're so happy Gerald McCoy is a Panther.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Yeah, well, I'll give you the 1 to 2 minute version, but first, I need to preface this with go on and look on I'll wait for a second. Okay, so go on and go on to the IE Sports Radio page, not the Brothers Blue page. Go to the IE Sports Radio page, and we have a comprehensive breakdown. What was good, what was bad, what Gerald McCoy added to the Carolina Panthers. I encourage you to go on and look onto that video. But going on to right now, right at this moment, it is, when we start at the very beginning, Gerald McCoy is a leader. He's somebody that's going to be a leader of men, bring a locker room, even to the defensive line, to the defense, to the offense, to the entirety of the team that we haven't had in years. So we have a leader, an offensive and defensive leader, regardless, in the locker room. We have somebody that's going to come in and have that quickness on his first step to aid someone like KK Short, help Luke Kuechly, help someone like Josh Norman, not Josh Norman. I wish Josh Norman was still here. Help someone like James Bradbury. We just gained a player that's able to aid our team in a way that would transcend our team in itself. It's not about one individual player, but the ability to protrude over that defensive line will make everyone's lives easier. And I think Luke Kuechly, having someone like that, it makes it much better. James Bradbury makes his life much easier. It makes him available to look at his assignment. And then our new safeties like Eric Reed, it allows him to be able to look over at the edges rather than have to focus in the middle of the field. I think Gerald McCoy is somebody that's going to transcend the Panthers' defense, and I really think this is probably the biggest signing we've had in a decade.
I think so as well. So, hey, man, I'm looking forward to that. Thanks for jumping on in here, John. I know that's pretty much going to be, like I said, I think Pete is called the group by mistake, but I'm glad we could have you in here, and there you have it. So, with that said, that will be that. Hey, man, thanks for jumping on in here today. I'm glad you were free for a few seconds, and that's pretty much it. So, hey, tell everybody where they can find you, man.
Yeah, definitely. You guys can find me on IE Sports Radio. Definitely check out the new YouTube page, IE Sports Radio, on YouTube, on the Brothers Blue, where you can find all of our videos, and also on the Riot Report. We're an affiliate of the Roaring Riot, and we have great content in terms of the Panthers. So if you're a Panthers fan or curious about the Panthers, go and check out the Riot Report. So you can check us out at all those places, and also, of course, check us out right here. Every 3 and out on IE Sports Radio.
That's right, brother. Hey, man. Well, it's been great. Thanks for popping in anonymously. I love it.
Yeah, no, I didn't even know what was going on. I was about to text you.
Right? But hey, man, thanks again, man. Have you a wonderful week, man. Take care. God bless, and hope to can't wait to have you back on 3 and Out this year, man.
Yeah, you as well.
Take care, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Felipe, just randomly. Wow, that was pretty awesome. We gotta give him the applause here. All right, Mr. Pete, you there? All right, we might have to just give Pete a call back, but still, that was pretty funny. Very random. But hey, it's all good. Let me see if we can get Pete back real quick here, because awesome guy as always, man. It's kind of funny. It was so random. But let's go ahead and see if we can get Pete back here real quick. And yeah, what a surprise. So let's go ahead and get Pete back here. I think of definitely he wants to talk some Boston sports real quick. I mean, today has just been a Boston sports kind of day, right? So we will find out and see what we have here. Oh, looks like we got... All right, here we go. We got Pete back already. All right, Pete, you there? We got you back there, buddy?
Yep, I'm here.
All righty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned earlier...
What's going on with the poster?
It's all good. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming the Hall of Famer, Mr. Pete Garofalo. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, Larry, how are you?
I'm doing my best, sir. How you doing?
Can't complain. All right.
Well, I know you are, man. How's everything going over there in Boston?
It's Monday, so...
Well, that's what I'm talking about, man. I'm glad you were able to be a part of the show for today, man. Like I said, won't be for very long. I know, I mean, this is kind of one of those like jumbled little quick segments. But real quick, man. I mean, I know you are you're a Boston guy, man. And we talked to Mr. Chris Black here earlier about these Bruins. How are you feeling about Wednesday night?
I feel very good. I feel very confident. You know, I mean, I think everybody was focused on Game 5. About, you know, the no call and the goal. And what I kept trying to tell everybody was, that's not why we lost. You know, I mean, I don't have an issue with calls. You know, I know bad calls. I keep saying bad calls are part of the game, but you can't... 20 seconds until...
Are you there? You there, Mr. Pete? Oh, looks like we got a poor connection.
And they did not, and they let St. Louis push them around, and they're letting St. Louis play smash mouth. And I said, you know, if nothing else, this is going to be a wake-up call for the Bruins, because they're going to go in there and they're not going to be pushed around, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, they just played a dominant game on last night. And now they have the momentum. Now they're going home. And, you know, I think if, you know, it's theirs to lose, really.
I agree. I think the Boston Bruins are going to pull this thing off. If we did have a chance, if there was a chance for St. Louis to win it, it was last night, but the Bruins just showed up and dominated. So I'm going to ask you a pretty fun question, Mr. Pete. It's kind of annoying, but it is a fun question. Last year, the Sox... they won the World Series. The Patriots won the Super Bowl. The Bruins could very possibly win the Stanley Cup. But there's one team that I didn't mention, Mr. Pete. Do you know who that team is?
The Revolution.
You know,
the New England Revolution of MLS.
That's hilarious that you brought them up, because
the Boston Breakers of the Women's Soccer League, whatever it's called this week.
You know something, Mr. Pete? You're cracking me up, man. You're bringing up it's kind of funny. But no, I'm talking about the team who dropped the ball. You guys could have had all 4 sports win within a 1-year time, but no, the Celtics just had to fall apart. Go ahead and give us your thoughts this year, you know, on the Celtics. And I know it's kind of funny, but I just want your thoughts.
On the Celtics?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I don't think this was. I don't think that this was a championship team. I think going into this year, I think, you know, obviously Golden State is very good. I think, you know, everybody knew Milwaukee was going to be good, that Philadelphia was going to be good, that Toronto was all in when they traded for Kawhi Leonard. I mean, you know, to me that was like Messiah Jury saying, you know, pushing all the shit to the center of the table. You know, now.
We're having a little tough terrain here. I think we're about to lost Mr. Pete again. Yeah, he's in some tough area. Let's see if we can get him back. Alrighty, well, I think that, unfortunately, just might do it. Bummed out. I know he's probably on the go, so that sucks. But, I don't know, it's a fun question I thought I'd like to ask Bostonians about the Celtics this year, because, I mean, they did drop the ball, but it is what it is. So, with that said, big shout out to Mr. Pete again. It's okay. I know he wanted to call in today, and I wanted to get him a part of the show, but it's alright. Things happen. Total bummer. Darn it. But it's okay. We can definitely get him back soon. But, with that said, I just want to go back to what I was saying. The class of Vettel, this guy is awesome. And I love what he says. He says, the people shouldn't boo at Lewis. I really enjoyed the race and the crowd. Lewis was a bit faster, but we were able to keep him behind. Ask the people what they think. And honestly, you know what? That was afterwards on the podium. And you know what? I just feel like that's awesome. Hamilton says that's not... Oh, let's try to see if we get Pete one more time. Let's see if we can get him back on here. He might be in a little more clear area. All right, let's see. Pete, we got you back? We got you here. Alrighty. All right. So sorry about that, man. So clear up your thoughts on the Celtics.
I think the Celtics, just to kind of sum up, I think they went as far as they reasonably could go. I didn't expect them to go the distance this year. I thought Golden State was better. I thought Milwaukee was better, and I thought Toronto, from the time when they made the Kawhi Leonard trade, I said this is the team to beat. And they played well. People want to chase Brad Stevens out of town, but, they'll be fine. The Celtics will be fine. I mean, I don't know if it'll be, I don't know if they're going to be in a position to win a title next year, but they might be.
And they might be.
Ainge has done it before. Ainge has done, he rebuilt this team on the fly, and he did, an outstanding job, getting this team relevant and collecting assets very quickly. But I just think that, I don't think anybody, everybody was picking Golden State. I said I've been picking Toronto since the summer. I'm not going against them now. So, that's it.
Well, I like it, and might as well, man. A little bit of basketball talk. Hey, man, I don't think they're going to get it done tonight. I think the Raptors are going to win it. I mean, you thinking the same thing, Pete?
Yep, I think so.
I'm with you, man.
The Raptors finish them off tonight.
I think so. I think they just got way too much momentum, and they're at home. I mean, the same thing with the Bruins. I think you guys are going to get this thing. I don't think it's going to be easy, but my gosh, it's going to be a great game. But I'm going to take the Bruins also on Wednesday night to win this thing.
Yep, I think it's going to go to overtime.
Oh, wouldn't that be something?
And I think somebody on the Bruins' third or fourth line is going to be immortalized, and will never have to buy a drink in Boston again. I don't know who it's going to be. But it will be somebody.
I like it. All right, big prediction there.
That's how it's going to end.
I like it. I like it. Well, Mr. Pete, it's kind of funny because you're, of course, an all-Boston guy, but something that you don't really mind to admit to because you're just a sports guy no matter what, but you are, in fact, a Yankees fan.
No, I'm not a Yankees fan.
Just kidding. Okay, I thought you said that a while back. Okay, I was like, wait a sec. I thought for sure you said that, but okay. Sorry about that.
I mean, I respect the way that they go about their business, but I don't root for them. I'm not going to, I'm not a fan, but that doesn't mean that you can't not like the way that they go about their business.
Absolutely. I don't know why I thought before that you said you were a Yankees fan. I'm sorry about that, Mr. Pete. I don't know why.
No, that's all right. It's all good.
But yeah, I don't mean to disrespect you there, buddy. Because I know, Boston and New York is pretty ugly. But yeah, I do know. I mean, right now, real quick too. Might as well just touch on the Sox real fast. Just go all around Boston real quick. My gosh, what in the world is happening to the Red Sox right now?
They started out slow, and I think they've, since April. They've played well. Remember that they had the worst record in the American League at one point. But, right now they're 2 games over 500. Tampa Bay beat them 3 out of 4 on the road. That's about where they are. I think if the season ended today, they would be the second wild card, if that. And that's probably where they are. That's probably that, they're not going to win every single year. They're not getting consistent, they're not getting consistent starting pitching. The hitting's not coming through when it needs to. It just they couldn't re-sign Kimbrell. I don't think that's the reason why they're losing. But they just everything went right last year. I mean, I think if you really want to ask the question, you say last year they had a dream season, and maybe they played way over their heads last year. Maybe this is who they are. But
no, you're right.
They could.
You're right. Mr. Alexander Gaines, you've talked to him before on the show. He says this is pretty much what you would call a World Series hangover, and that's exactly what it is. So, I mean, we'll see. Yep. But real quick, though, might as well, like I said, we're on the topic of Boston. We only got maybe a few more minutes with you here, Mr. P, because we got Mr. Gilbert Batista on the line, ready to talk some boxing and MMA. But real quick, Mr. P, let's just loop it all around Boston. What did you think about the Patriots draft? And we're early on right now, OTAs. But what are you looking so far? What are you liking so far about this team? I mean, you think they can potentially you have the team to do it yet again with the master, the chief, if you will, leading this team in Belichick?
Go. Yeah, yes, I do. I think I like the draft. I mean, they got a good guy at the end of the first round. They got some good players. They made some good signings. They had to let Flowers go, but, they were able to trade for Michael Bennett, which was a nice move for them. They picked up a quarterback in the draft who, he's from Auburn's, I can't remember the dude's name, but I know that Cliff Kingsbury recruited him between Mahomes and Murray. So that's not bad. So that may be, your heir apparent if Brady decides to call it a career.
We shall see. But man, this is quite the team, and the Pats are certainly the Pats. So with that said,
it's gonna be a fun year. They're gonna be competitive. They're gonna be good. But everybody else is gonna be good too. So
absolutely, and I mean we shall see. So. I'm looking forward to it, and once again, Mr. P, I did not mean to disrespect you. I did not. I don't know why I thought you were a Yankees fan this whole time. I really did. I don't know why, but like I said, it is what it is, and that's no diss to anybody else. I mean, hey, just because you live in a certain area doesn't mean you can't be a fan of another team. So of course, but just saying. But yeah, maybe I was thinking about somebody else, Pete. But anyway, with that said, man, it has been great. Like I said, it kind of sucks to have to move along so quick. We got a whole bunch of time, and we got our next caller on the line. But Mr. Pete, thanks again for dropping by and talking some sports with us, man. It has been great as always. The Hall of Famer, Mr. Pete Garofalo, ladies and gentlemen, glad to have you here, man. Go ahead and let these fans know where they can find you on Twitter.
All right. Twitter, you just find me at PGAR, PGAR58.
Alrighty.
That's where you can find me.
Well, there it is, y'all. Go check out Mr. P. Like I said, IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer. He was in the first ever IE Sports Radio class. We're going to have the next induction coming up this December, but the voting is going to start next month. Really excited for the second Hall of Fame class. Anything to say for the second Hall of Fame class or the nominees coming up for this next month, Pete?
They're all worthy.
I'm loving it. All right, Pete. Well, hey, thanks again, buddy. Appreciate you so much for being on the air, man. And thanks again for just being, such a big part of this thing that you've become a Hall of Famer.
Hey, no problem, Larry. It's the least I could do.
Hey, appreciate you.
Glad to contribute. Always good to talk to you. Always good to to participate and get my reps when I can.
I appreciate it. Thanks again, Mr. Pete. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful week. God bless you and your family. We'll talk to you soon, man.
You too, Larry. God bless you and your family.
Thank you, sir.
Take care.
Take care.
All
right, so that was Mr. Pete Garofalo. Let's give him an applause. Great guy, as always. And we're one guest to the next. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go to talk a few minutes of boxing here. We got 27 minutes left to go on the show. We got so much to get into, but I'm happy to have him here for today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming, of course, diehard boxing and MMA combat sports fan, if you will, and of course, proud member of Ringside. He is one half of Ringside here on IE Sports Radio with the sports governor of Minnesota, Vince Wright. So glad to have him back here on the show today to talk about this past week. Gennady Golovkin, of course, a big victory. The heavyweights, well, what are we going to do there? And are they even worth it anymore? And, sorry about that. And, of course, what is coming up next? We got another fight coming up this weekend, Tyson Fury. So, got a little bit to get into today for some combat sports. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming in the cut man, the one, the only, Mr. Gilbert Batista. What's going on, Gilbert? How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
Hey, I'm doing real good too, man. Thank you so much. I'm glad to hear you're doing good. And let's just jump right on into it, man. First things first, did you watch UFC this week?
Actually, I didn't. I was too involved trying to watch the Gennady Golovkin fight.
Okay, well, then I'll just go ahead and skip over UFC, and I'll just give you the results. Coming up in a little bit. But Gennady Golovkin just gets such a big victory. First fight since he fought Canelo last year, about 10 months ago. 4th round knockout, kind of like, we thought, or, I hate to say it like that, because some people thought Ruiz would be a 4th round knockout or even sooner from Joshua, and look what happened. So, you just never know. But Golovkin, man, how do you think he looked in his first fight back in almost 10 months?
Honestly, he got hit more than I'm used to see him get hit. He kind of showed his age a little bit. He did knock out his opponent, yeah, I'll give him that, but he did look kind of rusty. I don't know if it's rust or if it's his age. But he did get hit more than usual.
Yeah, he didn't look... I didn't see the fight, but, if he did, I'll take your word for it. If he was getting hit more than usual, he can definitely take the hits and dish it out. But as of right now, right this moment, are you trying to say that maybe he wouldn't look so good against a Brandon Jacobs or a Canelo again?
I don't think the Canelo fight would be any different than it was a couple months ago. Let's be honest. You got a new corner team, and I didn't see anything different. Other than he went more to the body this time than he did against Canelo. But you got to question: is it because Canelo's a counter puncher? Is it because that's what the game plan was? So you just don't know where he's at right now, as far as Gennady Golovkin. I don't know. It might just be my opinion, but to me, it's like, let's remember, he's about 38 years old. He's getting up there in age. Let's be real.
Well, he is, definitely. Hey, as we all know, Father Time is undefeated. But with that said, Mr. Gilbert, man, I guess we can see what's going forward. But the middleweight division right now, Canelo's the top of the world. He's doing his thing. Jacobs, he's, we might see that rematch coming up. But as of right now, it's pretty safe to say that Canelo, of course, is the class of that middleweight division. Where would you put Canelo in your pound for pound right now?
I'd put him number 2. I would have, what's his name? Bud Crawford, number 1. Mm-hmm. Canelo, number 2. Lomachenko, probably 4. I don't know who I would have number 3. Right now, I'm waiting for the Pacquiao fight to see where one-time Thurman, if he can beat Pacquiao, or if Pacquiao can maintain and get a win in that fight, to see if I put him number 3.
Absolutely. Right now, Keith Thurman is, he said it, like he was going to end his career. I know it's just talk before a fight, but my gosh, Pacquiao, of course, just being the gracious champ he always is. But speaking about gracious, man, that's a couple months away. I know you and Vince are talking about that coming up here, and we'll get to that when the time comes. But my gosh, speaking of gracious, I know you and Vince had a great show on it the other day. We didn't get a chance to talk about it yet, though. So if you want more on this fight, check it out last week. Vince and Gilbert got all into Ruiz and Joshua. But my gosh, Ruiz, the first ever Mexican-American heavyweight champion. What a victory for him. Congratulations to Andy Ruiz Jr. for winning all 3 belts, unified them. Everything but the WBA, I believe. The WBC, the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO, or I guess I don't know which one Wilder holds, but regardless, what a job. Getting all 3 belts, and what a guy that was gracious in defeat. Really, there was, in 1936, okay, and we talked about it a couple weeks ago, Gilbert, or you and I talked about it on the phone, but in 1936, there was a guy by the name of Joe Louis, the Brown Bomber, who didn't take the German Schmeling, I forgot his first name, didn't take him very seriously. Well, Schmeling knocked him out, and next time he came back and trained really hard, of course, knocked out Schmeling, I believe so, and got his belt back. Got his belt or belts back, I don't know, but was the champ. Be honest here, Gilbert. What do you think, man? Do you think Joshua just didn't prepare, or do you think that Ed Ruiz actually just came in and beat him heads up?
You know what I think? I think Joshua just didn't go to the body early enough, because if you see Ruiz, he's kind of pudgy. He has that kind of pop belly. So my thing is, if you see that belly there that is not defined, you got to go to the body early, and he just didn't do that. And let's be honest, Ruiz has great timing. You saw it, and that's what put Joshua down a couple times, and it surprised him, and he didn't know what to do. It was like he was kind of a little bit off guard after he got knocked down. He didn't know what to do. He kept on asking his corner, "What is it that you think I need to do? What do you see out there?" And his corner didn't really tell him any specific information. So I kind of question where his corner's at, if he should change it or stuff like that. You know?
I mean, absolutely. He didn't look like himself. He looked gassed. He just looked beat up, man. I don't know, but that's it. That we're gonna have a rematch clause come. Well, we have the rematch clause in the contract, so we'll be having a rematch. Apparently, I saw the interview with him on Jimmy Kimmel on YouTube, and apparently that's gonna be in November or December. So we're gonna see how that goes. But coming up this week, I honestly forgot who he's fighting, but Tyson Fury steps back in the ring to take on, like I said, I have to look really quick, but Tyson Fury is fighting this week, and apparently the big news is, I mean, of course, we're going to have Tyson Fury and Wilder probably sometime this year, but really, right now, honestly, Gilbert, is a heavyweight division that we were just so, like, irritated and bummed out about, because Wilder never fought Joshua, could never get that dang fight to happen, and now, guess what? Fury, which, I mean, he's good, but Wilder talks on everything like he's the greatest fighter ever or something like that. I mean, not trying to put words in his mouth, but, Wilder talks a big game. And, it wasn't the fight we thought it was. What was it, a draw, I think, or something, with him, Tyson Fury and Wilder? I forgot what it was. But regardless, that happens. And now Ruiz knocks out Anthony Joshua, who I actually thought was the best heavyweight out there. And now Ruiz is proven to be the best heavyweight out there. And then we have a guy like King Kong Ortiz, which I do feel that if he were to actually get in shape, he could beat Joshua or anybody, including Wilder, Fury, anybody. And he's coming up. I know they're going to be fighting soon coming up here. So, honestly, Gilbert, in a heavyweight division that I was actually just kind of poo-pooing, if you will, or just kind of getting rid of, was just kind of sick of it because we didn't see Joshua versus Wilder. Do you feel that the Fury fight with Wilder and the Ruiz fight with Joshua and Ortiz still being in the picture, of course, and everything, has revamped this entire weight class?
I think it's a wide open division because you don't know what Andy Ruiz could really do after a win like that. Either it could really catapult him to another level, or you have a rematch and it just proves to be a fluke. So it's a wide open division, man. It's a very interesting division after the big upset, and sometimes you need those big upsets to change things in the division and make them better for the better.
No, you're absolutely right, and that's what's coming up, and should be pretty interesting. It's crazy to think how this weight class was just kind of like for a while, and then it got pretty darn good. So, coming up in a couple of weeks, as a matter of fact, we can probably this next week, but on Fox, we got Charlo taking on Cota coming up in a few weeks. We also have, let's see here, looks like we have both Charlo, and then the other Charlo, I forget which one will be taking on Adams coming up later on in June. So we got the Charlos getting ready to take center stage. And, of course, Pacquiao and Thurman going head-to-head here. I believe that is in August. No, July. That's in July. So that's all coming up here. So we got some pretty good fights coming forth right now. And, so as of right now, Gilbert, give us your thoughts, man. Right now, boxing, of course, lots of good fights coming up here. We've had some pretty good fights coming up. We've had some pretty good fights this past year. As of right now, what are you thinking overall for the state of boxing? Some people wrote it out. Okay, some people just got so into MMA, and not saying that MMA, is not cool, because it certainly is. I'm getting more into it, but everyone, Gilbert, let's be real here, man. 5-10 years ago, people were writing off boxing as being a dying sport, and now it seems like it possibly could be like the heavyweight division at the moment, revamping itself. Gilbert, your thoughts on the current state of boxing?
I think it's a great state of boxing. There's so many things going on. There's so many big fights coming on that everybody needs to realize there's new guys coming up. So there's even more stuff going on, and I think that they should give it more of a chance. Now going back to what you were talking about, the heavyweight division, when everybody has their set guy, there's 3 guys, main guys, that are fighting each other. They're fighting not to lose, and that's what makes it so difficult, because nobody wants to take on those big challenges because they're at the top of their games, and they don't want to be the one to lose like Joshua did. You know what I mean? So that's what kind of sets boxing back a little bit, because they're afraid to lose their stature, their money. And I get it. It's a game of money, but at the same time, you want to see those guys take those big challenges on and see who comes out on top. And sometimes they're not willing to do that because they don't want to lose what they got. And I understand it. I get it. But it's fun to see when it happens.
Absolutely. So, yeah, you're right. So this coming week we have in Las Vegas, Tyson Fury taking on Tom Schwartz. I don't know who Tom Schwartz is, but I do know who Tyson Fury is. This fight's going to be in Vegas. Give us your thoughts. I mean, do you know who Tom Schwartz is, and do you feel that Tyson's just going to roll in this thing and then call out Wilder at the end of it like a big WWE show? Or what do you think about this fight, Gilbert?
I honestly don't know who Schwartz is, but, in boxing, when it's the heavyweight division, any one punch can change the game in 1 second. So just never know. And if he's thinking about calling out Wilder even before the fight with Schwartz, you don't know where he's at mentally. And you really never know with Tyson Fury where he's at mentally, because he always pops off with different things and says different things, so you don't know if he's in the right headspace for a fight like that. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting.
No, it really is. And it's like, what in the world? Like, we have this super, like, I really do feel like I take everything back I said about the heavyweight division, man. I mean, I think it's now it's wide open. And honestly, maybe this happened for a reason, because if Wilder and Joshua would have fought like how we want them to, we would have gotten a really good, a great fight, I'm sure. But then what? Then it's kind of like, okay, well, we're going to be wanting the sequel now for the rematch, and who knows if there would have been controversy or whatever. But honestly, we wouldn't have known. Ruiz, who knows if that would have ever happened, who knows. But now it's like, yeah, now it is pretty wide open. The one champ, Wilder, let's see how far he can go. Joshua's trying to get his belts back. He was very gracious in defeat, saying that, congratulations to Ruiz, and we'll see you again. And he, of course, saying that, yeah, I'm going to fight you again. I'm going to get my titles back, of course. And I would be saying the same thing as Joshua. And, of course, Ruiz saying, hey, I'll give you the rematch because I'm confident I can do it again. So, so honestly, what do you feel, Gilbert? Like, it all comes down to that. Do you think that the heavyweight division would be better, or, honestly, maybe a little bit worse than it is if Wilder and Joshua would have actually fought maybe sometime last year?
I think it's better right now because of what happened with the upset with Ruiz and Joshua. I think if it would have played out like we thought it was going to play out, like me thought it was going to play out, it would have been much of the same. It would have been the 3 guys that you think are the best. They fight each other, and it's going to be dog-eat-dog. But now it's like it's anybody's game, really, because you don't know if there's anybody out there that can deal with Ruiz's his timing, his speed. He's a little bit different than all these other heavyweights. And Wilder, he's a big, lanky dude, and if you got his timing down, I believe you can knock him out. I think that's what makes that Ortiz fight with Wilder so interesting, because at times with Ortiz, Wilder got caught. He could have been put down in that fight. I remember thinking he was going to get knocked out, and then he comes back and knocks out Ortiz. So it's one of those deals. You just never know. If somebody has your timing, they can get you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So it is just awesome to see where everything is right now, and I'm really enjoying I'm loving it, man. This is such a great such a great state of boxing right now, and I'm loving it. But with that said,
let me ask you something real quick. Who do you have on your top, I would say 5 right now in pound for pound?
Well, I'm going to copy the heck out of you with Bud, man. I got him at number 1 for sure. Number 2, I've got to say Canelo because, my gosh, how can you not have him there? I'm going to say Pacquiao until Pacquiao is defeated. So if he knocks him down, if Thurman knocks him down, then he knocks him down. But I'm going to say Pacquiao's my number 3 right now. My number 4, this is going to, it can get kind of dicey, but I think I'm going to go with you, man, and say Loma. Lomachenko is absolutely awesome. One of the best fighters out there. I mean, he's phenomenal. And my number 5, man, I mean, it's so hard because there's so many different fighters out there. It's not going to be a heavyweight because I just don't think they even qualify right now. Maybe a heavyweight might be in my top 10, but that's it. And there's a couple of, the welterweights is kind of where you just want to go because, well, that's the toughest fight classes. Gilbert, I want to tell you so bad somebody like Santa Cruz. I want to tell you somebody like the 140 pounder, which I know he's barely on his way up, but the 140 pounder, I forgot his last name, but gosh darn it, I forgot his name. I think he's a Frenchman.
Bivol?
Huh?
Bivol?
Not Bivol. No. His name starts with a P, I believe, and it's just bothering me. I forgot his name, but he's up there as well for conversation. But as of right now, that number 5 spot, I'd have to give it to Errol Spence. Why? Because he's a champ. He's up there. Him and Loma are going to be for number 4 and 5. I feel like Pacquiao is still number 3 because of how dominant he is. But once again, if Pacquiao drops, Errol Spence is automatically going to be the number 3 in my opinion. Loma, I think, will still be at 4 until, he starts to, if he wants to jump up to the welterweights. And then number 5 at that point might just be, I don't know, maybe Keith Thurman. It might be Leo Santa Cruz because he's a great champion. It might be somewhere around there, but I don't know. So what do you think, Gilbert? Give me your number 5 right now. Who do you think?
I honestly think, just because I think it will sooner than later, it's gonna be Errol Spence and Bud Crawford, and that to me is gonna be, you're gonna find out who the true number 1 pound for pound guy is after that fight, because those two guys have so much skill, and they love to go to the body. They're boxers, but they could punch. So that to me is going to determine the order of the pound for pound list, because until that happens, I have Errol Spence number 5, and I have Bud Crawford number 1. But let's say Errol Spence wins, right? Doesn't that vault him up to number 1 because he beat the guy?
Yeah,
you got to beat the guy to be the guy.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
So that to me would switch everything. So to me, Errol Spence is number 5. There's some deficiencies in his game. A lot of people don't agree with me, but there is some things that he does that can get him caught. And I think a guy like Bud Crawford can exploit certain things. And to me, he's the best boxer pound for pound right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, with that said, Gilbert, I got 8 minutes here to get through the rest of the show, man. I got a whole bunch of stuff to cover. But hey, man, thank you for popping in today, and thank you for jumping on the show today, man, and talking some boxing. This has been an awesome show. I appreciate every time you can jump on, man, and looking forward to seeing you back on Twitter and everything. I know, you're back at it, man. Happy to have you a part of it. And hey, man, as always, thanks for being a part of the team, brother. So where can they find you on Twitter?
Gilbert Bautista 2 on Twitter.
There you go, y'all. Check it out. Gilbert Bautista 2. Show him some love, man. Give him a follow. Or show him some love, y'all. Give him a follow. Great guy, man. He knows his boxing. So with that said, Gilbert, hey, thanks again for being a part of the show, brother. We'll talk to you soon, man.
Yeah, have a good one, man.
You too, man. God bless you and your family. Have a good one. Yeah. All right, y'all. There you go. Mr. Gilbert Bautista. I got to show him some love, y'all. And we are down to the end here. We got 7:25 to go in the show. So let's go ahead and jump on here with a little bit of track and field. I was just reading a little bit ago. Unfortunately, in the 4x4 is where it really mattered. USC, of course, they've been champions for quite some time. The ladies, there would be one of the women stumbled, I believe, and dropped the baton. I think she was disqualified. He can't drop the baton in the 4x4, and Arkansas would end up winning. That and a few other events after that. Arkansas, ladies and gentlemen, this year for women's track and field, the 2019 NCAA Outdoor Women's Track and Field Champions, the Arkansas Razorbacks. Give it up for them, y'all. They've definitely earned it. Great job to them. And, of course, for the men, I gotta look for it here, on Twitter, looks like, well, this year, they almost got it done in basketball. They were the runners-up. They lost to Virginia. Of course, Virginia on that mean streak after they would lose the number 16 overall seed in the year before that. I know everyone's probably sick of that being brought up, especially Virginia, but they got it done this year. Anyway, the team that would come up short, well, guess what? They're in the College World Series in Lubbock, I said that earlier, and of course, they were the runners-up in the National Championship this year in basketball. But they are the champions. They are the 2019 NCAA Outdoor Men's Track and Field National Champions, the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Congratulations to them. So there you have it. Now we're going to continue on really quick, as I mentioned. I looked it up. Apparently it was a speeding penalty for, and this really sucks for Sebastian Vettel. I mean, so bummed for him. But apparently it was a speeding penalty. You'll probably hear lots more about that on the Extra Mile this week. But man, that really sucks. I'm going to read it here courtesy of Twitter, of their Twitter at Formula One. By the way, that was for track and field. That was at NCAA Track and Field. Check them out. But give them a follow as well. But it says here that Sebastian Hamilton says crosses the line first, but an earlier 5-second penalty sees him drop to second with his Ferrari teammate Charles Leclerc taking the final podium place. So unfortunately, there was a 5-second penalty. Apparently, he would cross the line first. So it's kind of the Kentucky Derby this year, y'all. The winner, the driver, well, it was the horse that time, but the driver this time to cross the line first would not be the champ or would be the winner. So sucks there. Sorry about that, man. But moving on here, hey, better luck. And I'm a Ferrari fan forever, so hey, keep your head up, Vettel. Keep your head up, Leclerc. Hamilton, what could I say? Just hand him the trophy. So great stuff there. Also, today, don't forget, we're coming up. We got 2 hours to go for the the Firekeepers Casino 400 in NASCAR. No NHRA this week. I think they'll be back next week. We'll talk about that next week for sure. We have in IndyCar, the DXC600. Joseph Newgarden wins his third race of the season, so congratulations to him. And he's doing his thing there. Awesome job. Also, big shout out to the French Open champions. As I mentioned, Ashley Bartley will win her first ever French Open, and she will win, of course, her first ever Grand Slam. And Rafael Nadal does it again, winning his 12th French Open. Congratulations to the French Open champions, Miss Ashley Bartley and Mr. Rafael Nadal. And as I mentioned, rugby, I think the championship's coming up here, but I don't have time to go look over that right now. So, quick recap of the Women's World Cup, and then we'll go ahead and get on to today, and that'll be that for the show. I don't have to rush through everything, my apologies. Couldn't even get to MLS today, but it's alright. We'll get to MLS next week. Of course, catch plenty more. Mr. Gabriel Montoya on Fridays, 12 p.m. Pacific Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, talking lots of soccer, of course, lots of MLS, and the FIFA Women's World Cup, of course. So we're going to get to that briefly, and like I said, we're just going to recap the games this past week, and that's going to be about it. We got 3 minutes to get through this, so yeah, think we can do it? I think we can. So here we go. Women's World Cup, if I can ever find it. Wow, they're all over the place, aren't they? Alrighty, let's see here on the ESPN ScoreCenter app. I gotta find it real quick. But this past week has been something special. I mean, seriously, it's been awesome. I've really enjoyed this World Cup this year so far. I mean, what some great games. Italia the other day, winning like in the 92nd minute or something like that. That was so awesome seeing that. So I gotta say it one time, yeah. Forza Azzurri. Sorry about that. Couldn't get the tongue rolling there. So proud of them. And just what an incredible job by the ladies of Italy. And as I mentioned, y'all, I mean, oh my gosh, of all times, like I can't even find the Women's World Cup. But anyway, it looks like I'm, unfortunately not going to have the time to do it. That is so messed up. Okay, let's try this. Let's just try and get to the to this part over here. Here we go. Finally found it. All right, so let's go ahead and get a recap of the days real quick. So on Friday, of course, or last Thursday, Friday, France would defeat South Korea 4-0. Big opening match there. Saturday, that was Group A to start things off. Saturday, Germany defeats China 1-0. Didn't get a chance to watch that one, but I did see Spain defeat South Africa. South Africa would get their first ever goal, I believe, in the Women's World Cup. Unfortunately, in Women's World Cup history, unfortunately for them, though, 2 penalties and just some rough goes for them. España would get this one done 3-1 in Group B. Norway and Nigeria, one of the, I forgot how many teams it was that have only been there for so many, like for every World Cup. But in every World Cup, I don't know how many years it's been, but Norway and Nigeria, those two would be a part of every World Cup. Every Women's World Cup. And Norway would defeat Nigeria 3-0 in Group A. On to Group B on Sunday yesterday. Brazil will defeat Jamaica. And just what an incredible performance here by Cristiani. I believe Cristiani with the hat trick there. Italia, as I mentioned, win this thing in the 90th minute, 2-1 over Australia. And then yesterday, England defeats Scotland 2-1. And right now we have here 0-0 for Argentina, 0-0. That was today. Argentina and Japan and Canada and Cameroon are going head to head right now. So, well, there you go, y'all. That is it for today. Cue the music, because I'm out of here. All right, y'all. It has been a fun show. As I mentioned, 3 hours of back-to-back, wall-to-wall, action-packed sports. There it is, y'all. Anyway, with that said, this is me, your boy Larry B. Look for me on YouTube. Look for us on YouTube coming up now. Follow us on all social media. You can follow me, your boy Larry B. at THE_B53. I'll see you next week then. Until then, take care. And as always,
Welcome to the Subway ad for the new Chef Creations. How'd you like it?
I'll take motivational speaker.
Here you go. Who deserves something new? We all do. Now let's get creative at Subway with new flavors like mustard seed spread, Subway herb garlic oil, Provençal herbs, and more. Don't just dream it, do it with new subs like the Italian Grinder or California Club with sliced avocado. Subway, make it what you want. Limited time only at participating restaurants.
7 billion humans on Earth can't all like the same drink. That's why Circle K has Polar Pop and Froster. Pick your flavors and make that 1 in 7 billion mix just right for you. Polar Pop and Froster, just 79 cents each at Circle K. Limited time only at participating locations.